All right. Testing, testing. Are we live? I decided to go live just 15 minutes or 20 minutes early due to the fact that we now have a severe thunderstorm warned storm over here for golf ball sized hail that's going to be heading towards Wayanoka. That is, you see that hail core actually right in this area, just to the west of Wayanoka. Let me turn this back to my blue color. There we go. Yeah, just to the west of Wayanoka, there you can see that there is a little bit of a hail core there heading directly towards that region. Golf ball sized hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds, damage threat considerable. So if you guys live in Wayanoka, make sure you're indoors and well away from those windows. And I want to show you guys just how fast this line of storms has gotten its act together. Literally about 25 frames ago, there was nothing. And then just within the span of about 20 minutes, we've gone from nothing to this entire line. And now we have a full-on line of storms already developed here in western Oklahoma. Let me turn off these fire weather alerts really quick, just so we can kind of isolate our tornado watches on the map a little bit better. There we go. It's a little bit less confusing. Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome in. My plan went absolutely horribly. I went to bed a little bit later because I was hoping the storms would wait a little bit longer. And they fired early. So, yeah, it's not even 10 o'clock yet. And we already have a full line of storms. And these storms a little bit further to the south here have a couple of areas of some rotation. One north of Elk City and another one just to the west of Carter. Both of these guys are moving off to the east towards Clinton and Arapahoe there. So we're keeping an eye on those. A little bit of a tighter circulation potentially forming on this guy. I mean, just the shape of these storms within the line is already kind of impressive. We have a couple of areas here of some bean shapes. You've got a lot of embedded supercells and actually semi-discrete supercells right now. It's not a full-on line yet. We still have a little bit of, I guess, some drier air, as this is firing off the cold front slash dry line. I guess mainly the dry line here. And some of that drier air is continuing to keep some of these storms a little bit more isolated. They're still technically embedded in a line, but they are a little bit semi-discrete. The storms up to the north, though, not really seeing a whole lot of rotation with those. We're not expecting too much rotation with those guys. Our first tornado warnings, probably of the night, if I had to guess, would come from these two storms. And in fact, let me pull up the METAR data really quick. Because one of the things that was giving me hope that this might hold off a little bit were our dew points. But believe it or not, right where some of our most rotation is right now, you can kind of see we got a little bit of a 63-degree dew point right there near Elk City. Little area of rotation there, a little bit area of rotation to the south of that. Kind of in some of our best dew points. If we kind of zoom out a little bit more here, turn off my pen, you can see that really our instability, or not our instability, but our moisture tongue here is a little bit skinnier than what some of our models were indicating. It's kind of a little area like this that kind of works its way up and then kind of feeds into the storm back here. We do have a 60-degree dew point up there and actually a 61-degree dew point up there in northern Oklahoma. So we might have to watch those storms a little bit. But yeah, things are getting started here pretty quickly and a little bit earlier. I think the earliest time frame that at least I thought would happen was going to be around 10, but here we are. I guess at 10, but with a full line of storms already. So yeah, that's the latest update. The southern severe thunderstorm warning is warned for 60 miles per hour. That is moving off to the east towards Butler and Clinton. If you live in those areas, just make sure you guys are indoors and away from windows. We just got a new severe thunderstorm up here a little bit further to the north for Medicine Lodge, just to the north of Kiowa. Man, look over there on Storm Hunter Media's feed. Just a lot of lightning ongoing. Looks like what the heck? Oh, my alarm's going off. Forgot. I set an alarm for every hour. And time, the earliest I thought I was going to be waking up. So my first alarm just went off. You're offline? Why am I offline? Why? Exit. It says I'm offline. Am I offline? Reconnect. Why am I offline? Hello? Am I online? My YouTube studio just told me I was offline for some reason. I'm here. Okay. That was odd. YouTube Studio was screaming at me, telling me that I was offline, but I am not offline, apparently. Don't know what kind of glitch that is. That scared me for a little bit. I was lagging. Interesting. Yeah. All right. Well, just double checking. Just double checking. But yeah, you can see over here on Storm Owner Media's feed, lots of lightning with the storm right now. Can't really make out too much back there, other than there's just a lot of lightning. Pagey Tornado is a little bit further out in front of the storms. So you really can't see too much from her feed just yet. This is an interesting looking storm. It's a little bit more discreet, but the instability is probably going to be a little bit less up here. I haven't really looked at our mesoscale analysis in a while. Let me check that out. Out of line? Okay, all right. I'm okay with being out of line, not necessarily offline, though. But yeah, as you can see, these storms are kind of sitting in a little bit of a capped environment. But they're still trucking along. 1,500 joules per kilogram there in some of these southern storms, and these northern storms are sitting around in that 1,000 joules per kilogram. So enough instability there. Let's check the mixed layer. A little bit of a thicker area of instability there in the mixed layer, but still kind of the same story. But that does actually reach all the way up into southern Kansas. So we might have to keep an eye on those storms in southern Kansas. Lower level shear, yeah, lower level shear is already picking up quite a bit. 60 knots of lower level shear. That is a lot already. Yeah, I guess that lines up with the models. I feel like that's a little bit more than what the models were saying. 60 knots of upper level shear. You can see that divergence there. You see these wind barbs are going up in this direction. These wind barbs down here are going in this direction, leaving a vacuum in the middle, and that's exactly where these storms are firing. So everything's pretty much on par, I would say. And the dew points are making their way up. According to our latest HRRR run, these dew points make it up into. Let's switch back over to here. Make it up into Oklahoma City pretty well. I'm a little bit concerned about Oklahoma City. We'll see what happens, but it does seem like those dew points will just really start to surge up into Oklahoma by the time this line gets into Oklahoma City, according to our latest models. Now, models can be wrong. We'll be monitoring the real time data just to make sure we can back it up with some facts, some real observations. We'll check back down on these southern cells again. This whole chat feed is out of line. They behave themselves sometimes. When things are usually pretty quiet, which they're not really right now, but when things are quiet, yes, we get a little bit out of line on this channel for sure. But yeah, looks like Butler's getting in on a little bit here of a storm. Clinton's going to be next in line after that. Over here, south of Alva, near Wayanuka, we got a little bit more of a messier mode. I'd be surprised if there was still golf ball sized hail in these storms. Let me check the VIL really quick just to make sure. Yeah, I'd be really surprised. We might have had a brief instance there of some golf ball sized hail, but it looks like a lot of those storms have kind of lost that initial hail. This one up here, though, is looking pretty interesting with some ping pong ball sized hail. Definitely got a little bit more of a core there moving towards Medicine Lodge, Kansas. We're going to keep an eye on that storm. When's the greatest tornado threat going to occur tonight? So the models, I think the SPC outlook are kind of in line here. We're about to enter into it here in just probably within the next 30 minutes to an hour. This is going to be a pretty fast moving line, or at least it should be. Let me just see how fast we're moving to the east. Too much stuff on the screen at the same time. Hold on. Yeah, moving to the east at 45 miles per hour. So yeah, we're about to enter into this yellow area, which is a 10% risk for some briefer and weaker tornadoes, but I would definitely not rule out the threat for stronger tornadoes tonight. We're not ruling that out. The sheer environment's there. The wind orientation is there. Our forcing is there. Our instability is there. Really, everything's in place. The only thing that's really not going for these storms at the moment is the fact that they're kind of all in the same area here. They're a little bit mumble jumbled up in this line, but you can easily get a supercell within that line, try to produce a tornado. So we'll be keeping an eye on it. MCD earlier mentioned EF3 strength tornadoes possible 20%. Yeah, certainly possible. I would say that is true. But man, coming back here and looking at that initiation is quite impressive. Just how fast these storms got their act together, this is kind of what we expected. Wasn't expecting it this early. We're getting pretty much the earliest firing these storms could have probably physically have fired here. Which might go to tell us that we have a little bit more forcing than we previous thought was going to be there, and it's moved over the area a little bit quicker than we thought it would. But one of the things I did want to look at here was a satellite view. Let's check out how this looks on the lower level water vapor. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Wow. That's pretty impressive, man. From nothing to something, and literally, I mean, that starts at 8:50 something, in literally about an hour. You see it's in the dry air here. There's that dry line back over in this region. You can see it is actually a little bit more moist. You could, if you were looking at the satellite, you could probably pinpoint exactly where those storms were going to fire if you were looking at these frames before. But yeah, really quick start here. So we'll see what these storms can do. They should start off messy. That is the current theory. They should start off messy as they kind of try to break through the cap, which looks like what's kind of happening here. It looks like some of our rotations are a little bit on the weaker side right now. Those ones that looked a little bit more concerning earlier are not as strong as they were. So that's good. Check over on the Oklahoma City radar to make sure we have all looks here. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple areas of circulation in a lot of these storms, pretty much all the way up the line. They're just still on the weaker side. So it's starting off a little bit earlier, but still in the same caliber as we thought it would. Did I take a nap? I took about an hour nap. I went to bed a little bit later, and the storm started a little bit earlier. Kind of messed up my plans, but I will tell you right now, I have never planned for an overnight storm. And executed the plan successfully. Although I always execute like how long I plan on staying live successfully, but I never actually get enough sleep beforehand. I always have a good sense of my plan throughout the day, and I try to execute it, but then for some reason I just can't go to sleep. It's usually just because I'm thinking about the storms. Thoughts about Lawton? Got a little while. You guys are in a tornado watch. In fact, let's go over that tornado watch here. Everywhere in like the dark black area here, that is a tornado watch. Further up to the north near Wichita, that's a severe thunderstorm watch in the lighter gray. But yeah, so Enid, Ponca City, Stillwater, Edmond, Oklahoma City, Moore, Norman, Shawnee, Ardmore, Gainesville, Wichita Falls, Vernon, Altus, and it even goes down into Graham, Abilene, Ballinger, Brownwood, and San Angelo and Sweetwater. All need to be watching out for tornadoes. It might not look like right now in San Angelo you need to be paying attention, but these storms are rapidly spreading to the south here. You can really tell just how fast this line has been growing. It'll make it down there most likely. Hey, thank you, Wendy, for the 10 gifted memberships. Your name is very apt for this storm. This is going to be one of the windiest storms we've had this year, just in terms of area affected by wind. I mean, we're going to have pretty decent winds all the way up in this area, pretty decent winds all the way throughout the swath of this storm. Going to be very windy. Thank you so much for those 10 gifted memberships. Thank you. Why is the cap there? Just because there's a little bit of a layer of some warmer and drier air above the surface. We were expecting that. That's why the storms didn't fire at all, pretty much throughout the entire day. Looks like they did update this severe thunderstorm warning here to ping pong ball sized hail, and they just put a new one over these southern storms for $half sized hail. So there is some hail in these storms right now, and next in line is going to be Clinton. Let's go check back up here near Kansas. Their Medicine Lodge. Yeah, this storm is not rotating, thankfully, and it's kind of losing that little bean shape, so that's good. Maybe some couplets forming near Willow, Oklahoma. I mean, if there is some, then they're not that strong because I've been looking all the way up the line. Yeah, these ones down here. Yeah, I've been watching them. They're very broad right now. Very broad circulations. We got a broad circulation here, one here, one here. They are trying to do something, but they haven't really been able to tighten up just yet. So it's just one of those kind of situations where we kind of just got to wait and see what happens. I mean, we're getting pretty close to that 10% tornado threat, so we should start to see some of these rotations get organized. I mean, the environment is there. The only thing that would prevent these storms really from doing much is going to be a small little area of capping, but the forcing in this area should bust through that cap eventually. And that should happen within the next hour or so. How far east do I think these storms will go? These storms are going to be the storms that go all the way to the East Coast. They're going to make it all the way across the country. Thanks for going live. Yeah, no problem. Told you guys I would. And I should be able to stay up pretty much all night. Oh, look. Looks like Pagey Tornado's got some view of some lightning. Let's listen in. And guys, let me know how this audio is.
Maybe some like broad rotation. Yeah.
She's reporting broad rotation.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Like
Someone get rid of that spammer in chat, please.
Rotation, but I'm also wondering if it's the wind actually punching on the backside because the winds shift around.
Yeah.
On the backside of the line, and they're probably
I got the spammer.
60, 70. Well, we saw those LSRs of 60, 65 earlier.
Yeah. Whoa, that was so sweet.
Nice. A lot of lightning with these storms. That's one thing you could say for sure. Audio for Pagey's a little low. On my volume meter, it says it's pretty decent.
I hear
Can't
thunder.
hear. Oh, you heard that thunder. We actually heard some thunder. I can turn it up a little bit. I'll max it out.
Now, do you hear that wind?
She speaks low, to be fair. They don't have a really great mic. I don't want to get like a close lightning strike and then all of a sudden our eardrums don't work anymore, though. Let's go check out Storm Runner Media. Like they're sitting, got a little bit of thunder and lightning. Yeah, we'll see what they can see. I mean, there's no guarantees. There could be a wedge, there could be a wedge that happens tonight, and we just never see it. It is one of those kind of nights where we're going to have potentially some very hard to see tornadoes. So that is that. A little bit of a couplet trying to form here still, but still relatively broad. Still keeping an eye on this section in particular. This seems to be where most of our rotation is at the moment. I do want to check back down near Childress and Quanah again. Yeah, there is some very, very subtle rotation with that, but nothing that concerns me at the moment. But we did just get a severe thunderstorm warning further down to the south for Magnum, Granite, and East Duke. Guys got to be indoors and away from windows as that approaches. Nothing super crazy on any of these severe thunderstorm warnings. This one up here says golf ball sized hail, but none of these storms are giving any look to them that they have that type of hail inside of them. So I think it would be interesting if there is even any hail at all in those storms. And thank you, Dark Holiday, for the 5. Thank you so much. Thank you. Can I check west of Magnum, Oklahoma on velocities? Magnum is down to the south. Velocities, yeah. I mean, we got some air moving in this way and some air moving this way, which is to be expected with a line of storms, but nothing close to each other. So no real. Okay, yeah, they did let that northern severe thunderstorm warning expire. Hey, thank you. I go by Pro for the 5. Thank you so much. What's in it for Topeka, Kansas overnight? For Topeka, Kansas, there is a. I let me recheck. I think that you guys do have a small chance for severe weather, but I don't think. Yeah, it's not very. It's not very likely. Your best chance, I think, should. We check the latest 0Z. Should see if that cold core event is still there. It should be tomorrow. Yeah, does seem like that cold core thing is kind of falling apart. I'd be more worried about these backside winds, to be honest. You could definitely get anywhere in those 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts as we get into like 8, 9 p.m. with some very heavy snow possible. Brief, but very heavy snow. But like it was flipping somebody off. It's very possible. These storms do have an attitude. So that does not surprise me. Ooh, a little bit of a couplet over here, south and east of Butler. That's a little area of rotation. Let me check that on the storm relative. See if it still shows up. Yeah. And we got greens pretty close to reds over here. This one might be our first tornado warning if that continues to tighten up. Unfortunately, I got to keep jumping around from different radar to different radar, so it's going to be a little jumpy here. I do feel like once we start getting rotations, we get some pretty fast forming tornadoes, so got to kind of be on guard. Can we go over the Alabama event tomorrow in timing? I mean, I could do it real quick, I guess. I just don't want to spend too much time on those kind of questions right now because we are starting to get a little bit more busy here, but I'll do it real quick. Over here, 7 p.m. in western Alabama, northern central Alabama by 9 p.m., western southern Alabama by 11 p.m., and all storms should be out of Alabama by 2 a.m. Oops. Hey, thank you, Lisa, for being a member for almost 2 years. Holy moly. It sure has been a while. High winds are causing issues with Mardi Gras. Interesting. But Zulu and Rex will still roll in the morning. All right. Yeah. Are you like actually in New Orleans or New Orleans for Mardi Gras? Are you celebrating it somewhere else? I think in some other states they celebrate it. Yeah. Still waiting on the latest scan for that one. This panic attack? Oh no. Well, as someone that has suffered through a fair share of panic attacks myself, I really don't have any advice for you. I wish I did. I wish I figured out some secret, but well, one thing kind of worked. You know, you got to just kind of repeatedly inside your brain that you are okay and are not actually dying. But it only works sometimes. Best thing, one of the things that I kind of figured out is like, as much as you don't want to, it is kind of helpful to remember your panic attacks. Because if you can remember and kind of get used to how they feel, it becomes a little bit easier. I'm not going to say easy. I'll just say a little bit easier to convince yourself that you're not dying. Because that's pretty much, if people in the chat are unfamiliar with what panic attacks are, your brain for some reason just randomly tries to convince you that you are on your deathbed when you're not. And it is one of the weirdest and most frightening things that you can feel. Because you'll just be sitting there, not doing anything. And all of a sudden, panic attack. Be prepared, not scared. Yeah, unfortunately, for people that suffer from panic attacks, it's not something that is controllable. You can do your best to stay calm beforehand, but some Some people's panic attacks they just happen. Like mine, they'll just come out of nowhere. There will be nothing coming. It'll be a bright sunny day, and then just random panic attack. Although I haven't had one in a while, so. Getting worried about the fire risk tomorrow in Austin. Yeah, you're definitely going to have to be aware as those winds pick up. You know, if you start to see some smoke, that fire is going to move pretty dang quick. All right, latest scan up here in between Butler and Clinton. Still have an area of rotation over here to the west of Arapahoe. No debris signature on that circulation yet. But still definitely a little area here of rotation. These rotations further to the south have gotten pretty broad. Still not overly concerning, but we just have this little tight couplet here just to the west of Arapahoe. So I'm watching out for Arapahoe and Custer City. So these storms are actually surprisingly going to get to Oklahoma City pretty quickly. These storms are moving to the east at about 45 miles per hour. So in about 2 hours, it's going to be in Oklahoma City. Good to see. It's been a few. Yeah, it's been a little bit. It's been a little bit. Had him twice a day for 6 years. Now after heart procedure. Oh, wow. No warning. Yeah, that's how it was for me, American. Ardmore, it's going to be a little while. Probably about 3 to 4 hours for you. But you are in a tornado watch, so I would certainly be weather aware. Will DFW get anything? Yeah, it'll most likely be around 5 to 6 a.m. for Dallas, Fort Worth. So you guys got a little bit. I would get some sleep, honestly, if you live in DFW. You can get some sleep, wake up at like 4 or 5, just in time. Tulsa's probably going to be in the next 4 or 5 hours, too. Northeast Oklahoma is the same thing as I just said for Tulsa. Abilene's going to be a little bit, and although it doesn't seem like the line's going to make it down to Abilene, it should. At least our latest models have this southern portion of this line growing pretty quickly. It should be reaching pretty darn close to Abilene by the time the line gets to this region here. So in the span of about an hour and a half, it should be reaching almost all the way down to Abilene. All right, let's go check in on our latest radar here. Oh, wow. Storm Winter Media actually has a pretty cool view on the top right. They both do, actually. And that latest scan on our rotation here to the west of Arapahoe, still, it looks like it's getting a little bit broader. That little area of tighter circulation might still be there, but we're having a little bit of a radar issue where we're missing some data. I'm still keeping an eye on that portion of the storm. Over here west of Magnum, little area there of some weaker rotation, keeping my eye on. Also another one over here near Willow still that we're still keeping an eye on. But nothing's really standing out to me as imminent tornado. Let's come back over here to Kansas. Yeah, we still have this storm with ping pong ball sized hail moving. It looks like that hail will be just to the east of Medicine Lodge and go just to the north of Sharon there. I find like the best radar. There we go. Let's go check out our. Oh wow, Storm Runner Media I think has a view of a shelf cloud, maybe.
The wind noise though, for sure. And this dude sleeping in this truck is about to get rocked.
To get woken up.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Definitely gone down.
Truckers are usually pretty good. I wonder if he's sleeping or if he's just like waiting out the storm. Whoa! That was a nice little bolt.
Up there like isn't looking so hot.
It was a little tiny bolt. Add a little bit of an illumination. That's really the only way we're going to see any storm structure. Whoa, there's another one.
There we go.
Hey, thank you, Terry Graves, for gifting 10 memberships. Thank you so much.
In the atmosphere. atmosphere.
You guys get a membership from Terry, make sure that you say thank you in the chat.
Oh man, let's
Yeah, that is going to be a little bit of a challenge tonight. There's not a whole lot of lightning. We're really not going to see much with the Storm Chaser perspective. I think there's enough strikes. Enough strikes to be helpful. Still waiting on our latest scan to come in. I'm going to zoom this out, get it lined up here. I'm going to check Graham, Texas. Where is Graham? I've seen Graham before. Graham, no, it's spelled like graham cracker, right? Yeah, you're in a tornado watch as well tonight, so you're in this little blue marker here. Storm should make it down to your south. That's the latest thought process here. So eventually they will make it down there. It probably won't be for a couple of hours though before you actually see the storms though. So you got a little bit of time. And Norman near Oklahoma City, you guys are in a 10% for tornadoes, so we are definitely keeping an eye on you guys over there in Norman in Oklahoma City. But it's going to be a little bit, potentially around 2 hours if the storms continue at their current pace to the east. Tornadoes tomorrow, I would think they would get started after 12 p.m. That's my current thought process. Let's check in to see if we have our new scan in. We do. All right. Our more northern circulation is starting to fall apart a little bit to the best of my ability to tell. It's definitely a lot more broad and weaker. This one is also pretty broad, but we might have a little bit of a tighter circulation over here just to the west of Dill City, moving towards Burns Flat. This kind of seemed like it's out in front, but that's a minute ahead. So that's probably located right here in this area. You have to kind of watch for these little areas. So what we're watching for when we're talking about rotation is how close these greens are to like these yellows here. And you can see right in this area, they are kind of touching there. So definitely got to keep an eye on that spot. Further down to the south, still not seeing any rotation down there. Our highest shear is pretty much right out in front of these storms right here. So that's where I would assume we would definitely start to see some of our first tornado warnings come from these storms. Team Dominator is looking at an ominous lowering near Clinton. Oh, this one over here? Yeah, this one did have some rotation. It does have a little bit of rotation in there. It's just a little bit on the weak side. That lowering is most likely just the wall cloud, if I had to guess. It's always kind of hard to tell in the dark. What percentage is Ardmore in? I think you guys are either just inside the 10% or just outside of it. Let me just double check on that for you. And you guys are inside the 10% tornado risk. Lawton's in the 10% too. The kind of threat that we're looking out for today, we're not really talking about long track or violent tornadoes today. We're talking about the potential for some brief and weaker spin-ups. That's going to be the majority of the tornadoes that we see today, if we do see any. And also we're watching out for the potential for every now and then a strong tornado to potentially happen. But that really just depends on, I guess, sheer luck on these storms' parts. It's kind of hard to predict when or where that strong tornado threat will happen within some of these lines, but kind of what we're looking for is a surge of the line. Usually with significant tornadoes inside of an embedded line like this, you're looking for a surge of wind, of cold air to kind of rush out. And we typically see that pretty well on radar. We don't really have any big surges just yet because these storms are a little bit in their baby stages, but they are growing pretty quick. We'll see what happens. Oh, it looks like Pagey Tornado has quite the view. Let's come back over here and check in on that. Let me make sure that I got her. For some reason, it automatically sets her to 480p on my OBS, and I don't know why it does that. Just in case anybody was wondering, Pagey tornado is 1,660 feet above sea level, and it's 61 degrees outside. It's pretty cool. Yeah, by the way, folks, if you live in this tornado watch, the best way you can help this stream is not hitting that like button and not hitting the subscribe button. Although if you do, thank you. The best way to help the stream out, or really just help anybody out, is by sharing the stream. Because you never know which one of your coworkers or friends or families are kind of out there wanting a little bit more in-depth radar coverage. So if you share it on your Facebook, they might see it and they might tune in. That I'm pretty sure, just based off of research, liking and subscribing does not help. Still a pretty interesting storm over here near Medicine Lodge. I'm wondering if there's still ping pong ball sized hail in there. I need to pull up my MPing reports really quick. Hold on. I think MPing also works for severe weather. We can kind of get like a real kind of time if there's people reporting stuff. Do have to memorize what this stuff means, though. Oh, wow.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
I just got our first tornado warning of the night. Be viewing from a different radar. Might be for this guy over here. Honestly, oh yeah, I guess it is for this guy. Okay. Yeah, the scan on this storm is
a new tornado warning has been issued.
Another new tornado warning. Okay. Well, we're starting to get tornado warnings. That radar scan of that storm was just not very clean. So this is probably more of a precautionary warning. Or we might have some sort of report on the ground of something. Kind of hard to tell which one's which. Okay, there's that second one. I was waiting for that one to come in. All right, so we have two tornado warnings here. One near Burns Flat. I think Radar Mega's screwing up here. Let me go over to Storm Relative. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so we do have an increased area of rotation here near Burns Flat. It's going to be heading towards Bessie. If you live in Bessie, Corn, and Clinton, be in your safe spots. And then, yeah, kind of a weird signal coming out of this storm right now, but there does appear to be an area of some pretty decent rotation in that area. That's going to be Custer City, Thomas, Oklahoma, all need to be in their safe spots. First two tornado warnings of the night here. Well, yeah, it looks like Radar Mega is having some de-aliasing problems on it, but there, when you switch over to the storm relative velocity, that fixes it. There we go. Our first two tornado warnings. Let's see where our storm chasers are in relation to this. Oh, wow. Storm Hunter Media is actually already in the southern tornado warning. Let's see where Pagey is. Pagey Tornado is also in the southern tornado warning. So we have two tornado chasers within one of our tornado warnings here. So we should be able to get a pretty good view on some of these storms. And in fact, you can see every time we get a lightning strike, that's actually the tornado warned storm back in there. Let's see if Storm Hunter Media has a view on that. Yeah, they kind of do. And there's definitely a lot of lightning with these storms right now. All right, let's switch back over to our radar. Here's our latest scan. Storm relative velocity, yeah, still an area here, potentially some tighter circulation. No debris signature. Our radar's pretty messy here. We actually have 2 areas of rotation there. Yeah, you can see this one's definitely wrapping around there north of Burns Flat. You can definitely tell on the precipitation that we got some rain wrapping around that center of circulation. It's approaching 183 and Clinton right now. You guys definitely need to be seeking shelter. Again, indoors, lowest floor possible with as many walls in between you and the outside as humanly possible. A tornado shelter or a basement that is underground. I do want to check. I think this radar is kind of our best radar right now. Even though it kind of seems like that Oklahoma radar is closer. Let me just measure it here. Okay, no, it is definitely not closer. Okay. I had to double check. So this is definitely our closest radar. If you're just now tuning in, we have 2 tornado warnings here near Clinton. Clinton's actually in one of the tornado warnings. Burns Flat as well. Thomas and Oakwood, Oklahoma all need to be in their safe spots. No reports that this is on the ground just yet, but we do have a couple of areas of circulation that certainly need to be respected. Keep this zoomed in the center of the screen for now. Valley View, Texas. What city is that close to? You can give me like, because I'm not familiar with Valley View. Yeah, definitely respect the polygon, folks. If you're in a tornado warning, just go to your safe spot. That's the easiest thing to do. Just go into your safe spots, into your tornado shelters. Just go ahead and get in there. And just wait the storm out. Because unfortunately, our radar coverage is not the best right now. So we got pretty messy signals. But, I mean, we can tell some things. Come back over to our storm relative. Definitely cleans it up when you go to the storm relative. Broader circulation here, not really seeing any tight areas of circulation to the best of my ability. Burns Flat, though, is now out of the circulation. Next in line is going to be Bessie and Clinton. So Burns Flat can come out of their safe spots. Thomas, though, still needs to be in their safe spots. Custer City, that rotation is pretty much either just directly over you or to your right. Man, a couple areas of tighter circulation still exists with this storm. So I still definitely want Thomas to be in their safe spots. Also, we just had some 59 mile per hour wind report coming out of Eagle City, Oklahoma, and another one over here south of Clinton for 59 miles per hour. Let me see here. I need to learn what these things mean on the MPing. So let me figure that out. I want to be able to read it because we could get some updates before they even come through the spotter network. I can figure out what they mean. And we've had 1-inch hail reports also in Woodward, Oklahoma. And a new 1-inch hail report just to the north of Clinton. So this storm right here potentially has some quarter-sized hail in it, and that's about to move near Custer City. Another little area of rotation starting to get started over here south of Brinkman. Keeping an eye on that one. That might be our next one to get tornado warned. It kind of looks similar to what these ones did. And we're kind of in a radar hole here. I really wish we had a radar closer to here. Still a little area of rotation here south and east of Burns Flat. As of our latest scan, approaching 183 south of Clinton. This one further to the north, still a couple of areas here of rotation south of Thomas, still continuing to move off to the east. Someone in chat said Sentinel, Oklahoma. A little bit further to the south. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple little couplets in and along that area, but none of them are really that tight right now. We do have a couple of areas, though, further south near Magnum and East Duke that are trying to spin up down here. 3 little areas of rotation down there. Definitely want to keep an eye on those. you're in this line, I'm just sleeping in my tornado shelter. Not a bad idea. I mean, honestly, that's the pluses of having a tornado shelter. I can kind of see a storm back there on Storm Runner Media's feed. That area of circulation is approaching him. Let's listen in for a little bit, see if we can see anything, because sometimes we might be able to see stuff
area of rotation
before it happens on the radar. He's literally right in front of that rotation on the southern tornado warning. This is the one that's heading near Clinton.
I would say that you're in a nearly pretty good spot for that.
Yeah, I'm seeing the base of the storm off in the distance. I'm not seeing anything clearly hanging down from there yet. We need just the right lightning strike.
Yeah, I got a little lower in here coming up towards Bessie. I'm sitting literally like just outside of town, but I don't see anything at the moment.
Okay, so Freddie McKinney says there's a lowering.
Well, the air is so contaminated, it's hard to see it until it's like pretty much on you. Howdy, BL. Those velocities don't really
Yeah, there's something under there.
too healthy right now.
It's a little bit of a lowering, but it's nothing like super concerning. Man, a lot of lightning with this storm right now.
I mean, it looks like it's going out big time.
We are in position to intercept if this thing decides to do something right here. I gotta hop out the car for a second.
Yeah, there's the base of the storm. Let's go back to radar and check in on our latest scan. We'll come back and check in. Oh, was that a power flash? That was a weird color. I don't think it was a power flash.
Guy in my chat says a funnel reported near Bessie.
Okay, we got a funnel reported near Bessie. Where is Bessie? Okay, so we have a funnel reported near Bessie. Apparently. That is associated with this storm, just to the east of Burns Flat. So watch out there in Bessie, Oklahoma. We have a funnel cloud reported there. Also, still keeping an eye on this storm near Thomas. Area of rotation is right here, moving to the east towards 270. South of Oakwood and Thomas still needs to be in their safe spots. But a funnel cloud has been reported, and, I mean, Storm Runner Media is right there. So let's see if we can see that funnel cloud.
Bessie, but
Listen in, because these guys are getting those reports real time from a lot of different storm chasers. And this is Storm Runner Media here on YouTube. Oh, there's definitely some things hanging down underneath that thing.
I see like the lightning activity is downtrended.
Yeah, I was noting that earlier. It's not as frequent.
I'm just sitting here. I've
Could be a
noticed,
funnel.
About to say the same thing.
Could also be the lower part of a shelf cloud. I mean, that area of rotation is about to go directly over our storm chaser's head.
We came out of the more stable air.
So if there's a tornado in this thing, we should be able to see it.
Just west of Weatherford.
Most likely, though, it'll be embedded back into that rain.
Yeah, I haven't looked in a while. I wonder if that's changed or not. Alright, now it's starting to look like some RPs trying to kick in there just west of Bessie.
Now it wants to ramp up when it's right on top of it.
And it's so hard to tell what these storms are doing
Keep your eyes peeled,
in the
Jack.
nighttime. You got to really pay attention. Like one of the flashes, you won't see anything, and then a flash will come, and then all of a sudden you see. Oh, okay. Now that's definitely the
What
meso.
light are you guys on again?
On the left side, I think. I just saw the mesocyclone. I think it's on the left side of the screen, actually. The mesocyclone. So that's where the funnel would be, or a tornado would drop. Definitely looks something mesocyclone-y on the left side. We need another good lightning strike.
No response.
We'll see if we can get one more good lightning strike, but I'm wanting to come back over to the radar here. Just a little bit.
Pretty much right on top of us.
Just definitely wanted to keep my eye because we've got that funnel report, so I'm just trying to confirm it with my own eyes as best as I can. Okay, yeah, that mesocyclone is definitely to the left. It might be a wall cloud, actually. Yeah, y'all see that? Every now and then we get just the right lightning strike, and there's definitely something hiding on the left side. Man, storms at night are definitely spooky, though, I'll tell you what. I hate chasing during the nighttime. It's so disorienting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to look at that dry line, at least on Lubbock radar. Right
Reed's in Bessie, Oklahoma. Yeah, there's definitely a lowering back there.
Maybe.
That's what I was studying earlier, that Lubbock radar. That dry line looks pretty stout.
You see that wind howling?
Yeah, the wind's picking up. All right, I'm gonna go back over to the radar. But yeah, that's definitely pretty interesting. Definitely a little bit of a lowering down in there. And that's this area of rotation here near Bessie, Oklahoma. And storm intermedia is near Bessie, too. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a wall cloud. Just north of Bessie, Oklahoma. We definitely got a wall cloud. I just saw it clearly.
Nearly the best way probably to play this because
Wall funnel? I don't know if the rotation is strong enough to report. I mean, it's just... the radars are far away, so we're not seeing the true image on radar. This is going to be our best bet. Yeah, there's definitely what appears to be a wall cloud underneath that thing. Either that or it's just hard to tell, man. I'll tell you what. The lightning, man. It's so brief. You can only catch little tiny snippets, but you can definitely tell that's the mesocyclone on the left side. For sure.
Tornado sirens.
Oh, wow. There's the tornado sirens. That's creepy.
About time. I don't know why they wait till the circulation's right on top of them.
It's a good point. Tornado sirens are just going off.
Sirens in Bessie are going off.
This tornado warning's been issued for a while. That is interesting.
Yep.
Only went off once, too.
Yeah, that circulation's about to go right over them.
That one sound of the siren was good enough.
Yeah, it only went once.
9-volt battery died on it.
Oh, here comes the wind.
There is a violent tornado parameter of about a 9 where you guys are at on these storms.
Wonderful.
Wow. That's pretty elevated. A 9 on the violent tornado parameter?
Pretty sip. Yeah, I'm gonna head south now.
Looked on the ground.
Yeah,
I can't tell.
For this truck.
I literally can't tell. We're only getting a couple strikes. It looks low. Oh my, that was the Dominator. They're about to be right behind it. This Reed Timmer, right there, in his armored vehicle. This vehicle, if you guys aren't aware of it, is just absolutely crazy.
Might be some
Look at that thing.
Southwest of,
He drives that car into tornadoes, folks.
We need to go.
Wow. Oh, here comes the wind.
Yeah, now we're getting blasted. Awesome.
All right, I'm going to come back over to radar. I'm going to keep the sound on, though. So they're over here near Bessie.
What do you think, Corey? You want to try to blast?
Right there. There's that area of rotation we're keeping an eye on. Still want Clinton to be in their safe spots. Looks like this rotation's going to come pretty close to you. Up here near Thomas, we're still watching this storm. The rotation's a little bit weaker here. Moving towards 270. Still keeping an eye on it, though. If you live near 270, definitely want you to be in your safe spots. But we've got to come back over to here. Because it'll be at right at the time when that tornado would be, when you could kind of notice the tornado. We're watching the movement of the rain and the wind around his car. If there's a tornado on the ground anywhere near them, that wind will shift pretty intensely. But as far as we can tell on radar, there is no tornadic signature right now with any of these storms, so.
Besides highways, it looks like the next main route is going to be U81.
Fairland, let me check. Fairland, Oklahoma. Yeah, Fairland's got a long time before the storms come. You guys are over there near Miami. It'll be a good 4 to 5, maybe even 6, 7 hours.
Looks like the Dominator's going to stay with this storm.
Yeah. No major surges of wind. No major changes in those wind directions either. I'm not seeing much evidence of a tornado on the ground. We might have had a funnel, though. There was a funnel report. Or someone reported a funnel, over the radio at least. I just got a 3-inch hail report. Is that right? I gotta figure out what these M pings mean. I still can't find like a key for the M pings. M ping key. If anybody like help, if you can find me a key to the M ping and then send it into the reporter group. Yeah, on our latest scans here, the rotation really isn't that strong here. Does seem a little bit weaker since our last scan. Do you want to check other portions of the line though? And maybe a little bit of rotation over here near Hobart and Sentinel. Yeah, just to the west of Sentinel, we've got another circulation trying to develop here. So watch out over here near Sentinel. This could get tornado warned soon. We get any tight circulations along that leading edge. And it does seem to be tightening up just a little bit here to the west of Sentinel. So if you live in Sentinel, you don't have to be in your safe spots yet, but kind of be close to them. That's my best advice. Also, the southern portion of this line is still extending to the south. A little bit slower than expected, though. A little bit slower than expected, but we should see some storms initiate off this boundary here, and that's going to be Sweetwater, Abilene's, and Graham's threat. Further up into Kansas, looks like they allowed that severe thunderstorm warning to expire. These are kind of our main storms here that we're keeping an eye on for now. Do you want to check in on Paigey Tornado, as she did have a view of what appeared to be some lightning. She's a little bit further out in front of this more southern tornado warning. Yes, Clinton needs to be in their shelter. Did I get some sleep? No, I didn't. But I got coffee. Yeah, folks, if you haven't shared this stream yet on your social media, please do it. It is the best way you can help your neighbors and your friends staying weather alert. We will take care of them, I promise. We've been doing this for a while. Still waiting on our latest scan to come in. This storm's approaching Oklahoma City pretty quickly. See how far we are away from the Oklahoma City area. Actually only gained 4 miles. The forward progress of these storms might have slowed down a little bit. No, it's still moving northeast apparently at 45 miles per hour. We are directly east of Clinton. Like where? Like in Weatherford? Yeah, if your family's in Weatherford, the chances of this tornado warning getting extended is definitely there. We have an area of rotation here, and an area of rotation to the north of that, south and east of Thomas, Oklahoma. Nothing screaming imminent tornado, though, right now to me, to be honest. They're still a little bit on the broad side of the spectrum. But keeping a close eye on them, nonetheless, just in case. Still worth being in your safe spots, though, because one of the aspects of these storms that that is certainly very possible is that we get fast spin-ups tonight. Tornadoes will be forming pretty quickly tonight. Miss Matrix, I can see your message. OKC is probably within the next 2 to 3 hours, if I had to guess. Are observed? No, none of these are observed tornadoes. No, we did get a funnel report. That's about all we kind of currently know on the storm. Hail. Okay, so that's hail. Okay, lawn furniture, trash cans display, small trims or twigs broke, trees uprooted or snapped. Okay. Is there any report for tornadoes or funnels? Help? Like, is there any emblem for that? And how are you bringing that up? I don't see that option on my end. Okay, yeah, the violent tornado parameter. Yeah, we can go look at that. Let me bring it up here. I would assume it's just out in front of our line of storms. No? Wow. Yeah, it says 8. No, it says 9 directly over some of these tornado warned storms, but their circulations don't really look like violent tornadoes right now. Let me check significant. I really don't like the significant or violent tornado parameter. Yeah, the violent tornado parameter is higher than the significant tornado parameter, which is a little bit on the iffy side. So not sure how accurate that parameter is. I usually use a significant tornado parameter, and around 4 or 5 is elevated. Not super high, but certainly elevated. Oh, they're on that button? Really? My gosh, we had a 3-inch hail report. Back over here, south of, where is that? Near Elk Fork Red River. In Magnum. Apparently, Magnum might have gotten some 3-inch hail. Yeah, I saw it. Thank you, Help. That is it. For some reason. It is interesting that they don't have like a tornado or funnel report on an MPing. They do have damage reports, which could be helpful. There is reports of lawn furnitures and small twigs in Woodward being broken. And as our latest on the MPing reports. Latest scans on these storms. Still a little bit of rotation here, but it's definitely looking a little bit more outflow dominated. A little something down there. That might be a little side loby. Coming up a little bit further up to the north, though. Yeah, we do have a couple of areas of broader circulation. You can really tell by those greens being separated by the reds by these gray colors. But still some rotations there. We might see these tornado warnings expire. This one over here near Granite, though, I'm still keeping an eye on near Lone Wolf. It's kind of our tightest circulation that we have right now. What is this? Get that on Lubbock. Okay, that's nothing. Is Lone Grove in a 10%, but it looks like it's going away from Lone Grove. What? Lone Grove. Oklahoma? It's not. It's going towards you guys. It'll get there. The storms along the line are moving in this direction, but the line itself is going to be moving to the east. So eventually it will get there. But your storms will probably fire down here and work their way up towards you. Go check back in on our storm chasers, see if we can see any hints of what is happening out there. Got some really bright lights. My goodness. Those aren't just high beams. Those are stadium light bulbs, like those stadium lights. I'm not sure if it's just their exposure. Whoa, that was like pink lightning. Did y'all see that? Yeah, I'm not sure if that's their exposure, but those look like some stadium lights. OKC is in the line of fire, yeah. And unfortunately for the OKC, that's kind of the area where we're expecting our tornado threat to increase a little bit. A little bit worried about the Oklahoma City area. I'm hoping that it's not that bad. There's definitely a chance that these lines of storms don't do as the models say. That happens all the time. So that's an area to have hope. But the dew points are supposed to rise into Oklahoma City, and that should be primed on front of this line for some potential spin-up tornadoes. So definitely going to be keeping an eye on this line throughout the night. This kind of seems like the storm's a little bit more progressive, though, than some of our earlier models were saying. What's going on with the northern portion of the storm? We got some lightning up there, but the storms have kind of fallen apart. Seems like our main area where, you know, kind of the line where a lot of our storms will probably fall apart or our instability is reaching up to the north is right around in this area. So we lost one of our tornado warnings near Clinton. That one has expired. Still have this one up to the north, though. Still keeping an eye on over here near Watonga. That rotation's pretty weak, though. They'll probably let that one expire as well. You know, this one near Clinton still has a little area of rotation. It's strengthening rotation there. That might get reissued again if that keeps up there. We'll see. But yeah, this one over here is probably going to get expired as well. We might have a brief moment of no tornado warnings, but that one near Clinton, if that rotation continues to get a little bit stronger, we'll probably see a new tornado warning issued. And also, man, look down here near Sentinel and Granite. We could get some tornado warnings down here, especially this one over here east of Granite is looking pretty interesting as that approaches Hobart. So Hobart, watch out. This storm could be about to get tornado warned there. Getting pretty close to being the kind of rotation that would get warned. Hopefully it's nothing too severe. Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. Hope it's on the lower side of things. How long am I predicting the storm until it hits Lone Grove? Probably a good 4 to 6 hours. It's going to be a while. I'd get some sleep. Will calm down by the time it hits Alabama. It should in northern Alabama, but we're still going to get some strong winds regardless. But the tornado threat will definitely be lower. Southern Alabama, though, it will still be elevated. Like near Mobile. Hastings, Nebraska. What the heck? We got a severe thunderstorm warning up here near Hastings, Nebraska. Going up towards Grand Island with 1-inch hail inside of it. That is definitely a cold core storm. New rotation, but watch out there near Grand Island. That's gonna drop some hail on you. Winds are just a little bit above 50 miles per hour. The main threat with that one is quarter-sized hail. That was not where I was expecting to see storms tonight. I'll tell you that. Some random cold core storms up there. That did not show up on the models that well. Yeah, this is Radar Omega, War Eagle. Love your name, by the way. We got some lawn furnitures or trash cans displaced or small twigs down in Oklahoma City near the Norman area. It looks like those gradient winds are picking up. Can anybody in Oklahoma confirm the windiness there? New warning. It's not a new warning. They just made the polygon a little bit smaller. Going towards Route 3. But they're probably, unless we start to see some more rotation on this, but there still is a little bit there. Go over to the storm relative. They might keep it going. I mean, there's a little bit there. It's a little bit of a messy signal, but worth keeping an eye on as that moves off to the north and east for sure. Check back here. Yeah, we still got 60-mile-per-hour winds and 1-inch hail within this storm. And a couple of areas of rotation still near Sentinel and just to the east of Granite. But it looks like they might be waiting longer to issue tornado warnings on some of these circulations. Because although there's definitely some rotation there west of Hobart, it does appear a little bit on the broad side, but it's getting close. We see those greens intensify a little bit there near Lone Wolf. They'll probably pull the trigger on a tornado warning if I had to guess. Windy in Adair, thank you. Thank you. Here in Paulus Valley, it's been windy all day, and now it's really howling. Okay, thank you. Super windy in Norman. Yeah, so we're getting reports of some tree limbs down in Norman. So if you don't be overly surprised if your power starts to flicker or goes out briefly. Sometimes small twigs and tree limbs can do that. Southeast Arkansas won't be until tomorrow. But there is an elevated threat for some damaging winds there in southeast Arkansas over here. So we will be keeping an eye on that, but that'll be more on tomorrow morning. Someone said Evan is 6'9". No. I am not 6'9". I'm 4'11". I'm just kidding. Imagine. I feel like if I was 4'11", is this wrong to think? I feel like my voice would be higher. I don't know. Yeah, still some broad circulation on this storm north and east of Clinton. It's not really tightening up too much. Would that be a downburst knocking over twigs? No. It's just a gradient wind. So there are going to be winds associated. Knock my headphones out. There are going to be winds associated with the line of storms here. But the gradient winds are pretty much just a pressure gradient that's going to be out in front of this as it nudges up into some higher pressure. And that is going to cause some winds out in front of the line. And so the winds will progressively get stronger as the line approaches. Does a moderate risk come out tomorrow? I heavily doubt it. 5'2" in a pretty deep voice. Fair enough. Fair enough. But no, my actual height is 6 foot. Technically 5'11" and a half. But it's got another twig or small branch report up here in northeast of Edmond. Yeah, storm intermediate is in the top right, Pagey tornadoes on the center, and we got an Oklahoma camera in Lawton, a traffic cam in Lawton. Will I be live tomorrow? Yeah, hopefully. I'm hoping like after 7 a.m. we'll be able to take a break and hopefully get a little bit of a nap.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
New tornado warning has been issued. That be for that? South of New Cordell, maybe? That might be south of New Cordell. Maybe they're extending that one. I mean, there's a couple areas that I could see them pulling the trigger on a tornado warning for. Yeah, it might be this one. A little decent area of rotation. Oh no, they're extending this one. That one down there near New Cordell might get tornado warned. Just letting you guys know. Little tight circulation there for sure. So this is moving off to the north and east. So they did keep this tornado warning. We still do have an area of rotation, so it's not super surprising. If you live in Watauga and Hitchcock and also Loyal, you guys need to be going into your safe spots here as fast as possible. Not too much going on so far in Lawton. Yeah, the storms aren't there yet, but when they do get there, we do have traffic cams all the way into Lawton, up into Oklahoma City as well. All right. We'll do a little bit of a zoomed out view as we wait for our next scan to come in. Long time no see. Long time no see. It's been a while. I don't like going live during snowstorms, so we haven't really been live since hurricane season. But I excel during severe weather season. This is my forte. I'm also pretty good at hurricanes. I just do not like live streaming winter storms. Unless there's like a tornado risk with them. Has a tornado happened yet? We might have had a report of a funnel. No reports of tornadoes just yet. They're running new software. Same software as always. Snow is snow. Yeah. Like in my opinion, instead of watching a stream about snow, you should probably be playing in it. Making snowballs and stuff. That's what I would be doing. I wouldn't be sitting on the couch while it's snowing outside. I'd be outside. This is like really cold. I'd be outside for just a little bit, but I'd still go outside. And this little rotation over here near Hobart, man. Surprised that's not warned. They might be thinking, no, I mean, that's associated with the mezzo, it seems. That's 2 minutes ahead. Yeah, they might throw a warning on this Hobart storm here shortly. You see over there, we got those brighter greens next to the brighter yellows. Certainly an area that I'm keeping a close eye on there near Hobart. I would expect to see a tornado warning there soon. Storms are about to enter the Wichita area. Yeah, they're pretty weak. Might be some lightning in them, but these ones aren't going to be a tornado problem. Probably not even a severe weather problem. That risk kind of fell apart pretty quickly, it seems. There's a bunch of different snow types, but overall, it's just snow. I will say, please mod version 3. Who's version 3? I mean, if you're saying I should mod the Blondie, I'll do it. I've never heard of them, but you're the mod boss. Oh, it's E-Rev? Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I'll throw the mod on there. All right, I did it. Altus, yeah, your line is coming in pretty much right now. You're going to have a little bit of cold air move through as that outflow boundary comes in, and then on the backside of that, you're going to have the storm come through. Lightning is definitely going to be in there, and the potential here for some quarter-sized hail. Rotations along your portion of the line, though, are pretty much non-existent, thankfully. It's outflow dominant. Kind of our main corridor where we're expecting tornadoes, at least for now, as best as I could tell, is going to be in this region, and then moving off to the east. Yeah, no problem, Blondie. Thanks for letting me know. What happened to your old YouTube account, eRev? Where am I reporting out of? I live in northern Alabama. I have chased in Oklahoma a couple of times. Quanah, Texas. I think that's down here, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Your line is approaching. It's pretty weak. Not gonna lie. It's outflow dominated, so it should be cooling down outside right now, and then eventually you're gonna have some storms come through. Might be some lightning to your north, and that might make it down to you by the time the line hits you. But pretty darn weak segment of the line. Will be a little bit windy though. KDYX and KSJT. Where are those radars? Oh, down here. Oh, why are these ones down? I think a tornado. Yeah, we definitely need to. I mean, not in Quanah, no. Quanah will be fine. Oh, new phone. Nice. I think our threat is tomorrow. Yeah, the threat in Mississippi is tomorrow. If you live in northern Mississippi, it's going to be damaging winds. Further down the south, there will definitely be a chance for some tornadoes. And some of those might be strong, but the models aren't really too bullish on that, to be honest. It'll be interesting to see how it really plays out. We're down to, due to a communication line being cut. I have to check it on that. That would not be, that'd be a weird thing. That would be something you don't see. Oh, looks like Paigey Tornado might have a view of something. Let's go check in on her real quick. I think she's sitting waiting on the line of storms. Oh, a little rumble of thunder. Yes, outflow dominant is what you want. You don't have to know what the word means, just know it means good news.
What's that?
Like, what is going on? Just pooping out.
Paige is in the opinion that our storms are pooping out. Let's hope
All
she's right.
Mark, we'll see ya. Talk to you tomorrow. Hello, Smokey the Bear. What's up?
Well, there was more lightning, but now we're just looking at a black screen, so we'll switch back over here. Watch a lightning bolt happen as soon as I switch off. Let me look at the SPC meso analysis and give my opinion on the pooping out here. Still pretty capped environment. The cap isn't going away yet. It's supposed to break, though, as it moves over Oklahoma City. That is the latest forecast. It is breaking a little bit in the mix layer. Not quite there yet, though. I think these storms are going to be relatively... Let me look at where the the dew points are. Oh, man. Interesting. Interesting. The dew points are kind of crashing out up here. Just to the east of Oklahoma City, we're sitting at 52-degree dew points. That's going to be too low. But down in this region, we have a little axis of 60-degree dew points trying to make it up. If that can make it up to Oklahoma City in time, we're going to have some issues. If it doesn't, then we're probably going to see the storms underperform. The dew point crash out as it was. Yeah, I hope that's the title, to be honest. What's the tornado chance? 10%. I think we're in it now. But given our dew points and our instability in the cap still being in place, we're probably, honestly, more in a 5%, to be honest. Check back in with this storm. This storm's strengthening a little bit here north of Watunga as of our latest scan. See, there's that precipitation wrapping around, and that rotation's getting a little bit stronger there south and west of Hitchcock. Storm relative velocity, yeah. No debris ball on this guy, but definitely still want Hitchcock and Loyal to be in their safe spots. Watunga, though, should be good to go here. You guys can come out of your safe spots there. Come down here further to the south. Yeah, that area of rotation near Hobart has fallen apart. This is our cold front boundary. And it is surged. It's completely surged out of the southern mode. So this southern mode is going to fall apart. There won't be a tornado threat at all with these storms, as long as this outflow boundary stays out in front. So it's mainly going to be these corridors of storms north of that outflow boundary, if those dew points can get up there, and that cap can break. Let's see if we have any new soundings out of the Oklahoma area. We had one at 0Z, which is a pretty long time ago. Yeah, there was a pretty stout capping there's a pretty stout inversion over the Oklahoma City area when they released a sounding at around 6 or 7 p.m. We are expecting that to change if the models are right. Models are hopefully wrong, though. If that capping inversion holds on all the way through, tornado threat will definitely be lower. The dew points get up there, the tornado threat will also be technically lower. So we'll see. We still got about an hour until we can say any definites here. Oh, we're still at the beginning of it. Things can definitely still get pretty spicy. We'll see. The southern mode, though, the southern mode of this severe weather threat, I can say with some pretty good confidence that it is falling apart. That outflow boundary, that frontal boundary has crashed through the storms. This is that cold front right there. That's all cold air in between these storms. We still have some instability out here, but because there's cold air out in front of the storms, you would need one of these storms to latch onto that boundary, and you can see that there's quite the distance in between them. So That's kind of my thoughts right now. Still got to wait a little bit. Not quite there. Those dew points, according to the model, should make it up there eventually. We got 59 dew points in Oklahoma City right now. So the main question is, though, does that capping inversion really break? Does it really break? Does it break in time? If it doesn't, then we're definitely going to see this thing struggle to produce tornadoes. Let's come back up here to our northern storm. Yeah, we still have a couple areas of some tighter rotation here. One now just past Watauga and one north of Watauga. No correlation coefficient, so no debris being lofted into the air by any tornadoes in this storm, but I still want Hitchcock and Loyal to be in their safe spots. In terms of our severe weather threat, our line of storms just went through Weatherford, New Cordell, and Hobart. Next in line is Gotebo, Mountain View, Eakley, and Bridgeport. Eakley sounds like if I had like a pet mouse, that's what I would name my pet mouse. Eakley. Wind out of South Texas is big time and gaining. Yeah. The winds out in this area will be pretty intense. Fire danger tonight going into tomorrow will be extreme pretty much in this area. So definitely watch out there for those fires. They will be moving quick. It's 5:21 here in the UK. Interesting. Yeah, Melissa, I think usually when you tune in, it's too late for you. So yeah, you finally get to catch a stream early on while we suffer from sleep deprivation. Rodriguez as a mouse name. That's fitting. Sounds like a sophisticated mouse. Can you explain what we should be looking at on the settings? Yeah. So when we go over to the rotation settings, what we're looking at is greens close to reds, which we do have over here near Hitchcock. You see, just barely. Unfortunately, this is not the best radar scan that just came in. See, we have some data missing, but you can tell in there that there is some greens touching the reds there. When it looks more like this, you're looking for blues near like darker greens. There's a little bit there south and west of Weatherford that I'm keeping my eye on. Let me see if I can get a better radar depiction of that. Okay, this is anti-A list. There we go. Yeah, so you see how we have greens close to the reds, but we have these grays pretty much in between, and the greens really aren't that bright. That's still indicative of broad rotation. Further up to the north, you can see these greens are pretty faded, and the reds are far apart, and we have those grays in between. That's really weak rotation. This up here, where we have some greens with some grays in between, and the greens are a little bit faded, that's really elongated broad rotation. So nothing really sticking out to me along this line just yet. Except for up here near Hitchcock. That's probably our strongest area of rotation. Another one over there south of Olean as well, potentially. Oh, Storm Runner Media's got a view of something. I just saw that in the corner of my eye. Listen in if they can get enough.
Absolutely.
They can get enough lightning.
It's good that this is kind of out this way. Given the environmental, the environment in the area this evening, I mean, it's probably.
Hey, thank you, Erev, for gifting 5 memberships. Thank you so much.
That this remained like this. I mean,
you guys got a gifted membership from Erev. Make sure you're thanking him in the chat.
Kind of like, maybe something's gonna happen, but I mean, still early in the year. But I mean,
this thing is moving slow enough to where I almost want to go back west and south.
About talking about Oklahoma becoming the new nighttime king or the king of nighttime.
You're talking to me? Okay, I saw you just staring at me. I'm like, what?
They now get more nighttime tornado setups than daytime setups.
Is there?
I hope not.
Over.
What's happened? Their stream just froze. Uh-oh. Is that on me or is that on them? Page's stream is still working. But his stream is completely freezing or frozen. Let me do a whole Control-C thing here. Hold on. Give it the old refresh. There we go. Yeah, sometimes OBS is a little wonky. All right, let's go check on the latest here on our tornado warning. Yeah, there's still an area of rotation here. It does look a little bit broader, though, than some of our last scans, and still another broader circulation near O'Keene. That one up there I don't think is overly legitimate, but this one right here I'm still keeping a close eye on. Over there near Loyal, still want you to be in your safe spot, but Hitchcock, Oklahoma is pretty good to go here. Yeah, if you were listening in on the Storm Chaser feed there, they were not sounding enthusiastic. So that's a second Storm Chaser that says the storms are not as impressive as they were thinking it would be at this point. So we'll see. Thing is, never let your guard down. But if that outflow boundary continues to surge, it looks like that outflow boundary is now just to the south of Hobart. On that cold front. I guess you could call that a cold front there. That continues to surge out in front of these storms. That's wraps. That is it. Do you want to check a little bit farther north just to make sure these storms are still struggling? Yeah. I mean, it's literally only this corridor. Pretty much right here in this area, cutting off at Hobart. Looks like even further up to the north, we're getting a surge of something here. That might be that cold front crashing underneath the storm. Hobart. Sorry, I say Hobart because there's a thing called a Hobart. Like in the restaurant business, it's like a big old thing. You open it up, you put a bunch of dishes in there. I think that's what it's called. Might sleep if these storms continue to die. I think I'm going to do the same thing. I'm not going to lie. But I'll keep an eye on it until I'm convinced that the mode has fallen apart. We still have what appears to be a favorable, somewhat favorable area here near New Cordell, and the models are still saying that it should be able to make it. I mean, the cap should break as we get close to Oklahoma City. But if we see that outflow boundary surge before that, out in front of these storms, then that's an indication that our storms are just gonna be done for. How's the blizzard going? Let's check it out. I don't think it's really gotten started yet. Oops. Let me see. Winter weather. Yeah, if we're getting any blizzard conditions, it's probably near like Denver, like just south Denver in this area, near north of Colorado Springs. Hobart dishwasher. Exactly. That's why I think of that. Hobart is a brand. Yeah. It's really cool too. I mean, you just put like all the dishes in there. It's like a dishwasher, except it does it like way faster. Perfect for restaurants. Trying to see if we have any power outages, because I really do think if the HRRR was right on the winds, that by the time we get into tomorrow, we'll have quite the amount of power outages. We already have 3,000 people without power in Colorado. Tornado warning expired. Oh, yep, there it goes. All right, well, we're down to 0 tornado warnings. That's good. Will we get another one? That is the question. I think we'll know. I really do think we'll know within the hour of what this is going to do. And to be honest, I'm looking forward to get some sleep, and I'm sure everybody else is as well. So hopefully it's good news, but we're not quite there yet, folks. So please do not go to sleep. Yeah, the tornado warning has expired on this northern storm, and they replaced it with a 70-mile-per-hour wind warning. It's going to be coming towards Hennessy, so watch out there in Hennessy. Power outages are pretty possible here with those 70-mile-per-hour winds. Yeah, we might see this turn into more of a wind threat. Even outflow-dominant storms can bring a wind threat. And you got to keep in mind the lower-level shear up in this area is strong. We're talking about 50 to 60 knots, especially up here in the northern portion where this 70 knot. So it's not super surprising that this is our first storm that has those type of winds. As you know, you get a heavy enough precipitation that's going to bring those winds down to the surface, kind of like a bowling ball when it hits a trampoline. Kind of, you see that dip down. Think of the bowling ball like the downdraft hits a trampoline, brings those lower level winds down to the surface. So it's not surprising that that was the first one. What's the tornado chance? It's supposed to be 10%, but honestly, right now, just given what we have seen, we're kind of in a lull. But the capping inversion is supposed to break. Oh, we got a new update. Instability is crashing. That's going to be hard to overcome. We do not have 1,000 joules per kilogram anymore. I think is a little bit early. Yeah, that's definitely premature in comparison to the latest. The latest the HRRR had 1,000 joules per kilogram all the way to eastern Oklahoma before really receding down to the south. But the instability, as of our latest one, says no more 1,000 joules per kilogram. You look at the mixed layer cape, though. We still have 1,000 joules per kilogram still, which some people argue is the best one. So if we're going to get a tornado threat still, it's going to be over here. We'll come back. It's going to be over here south and east of Clinton. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. YouTube is losing it tonight? What do you mean, Tornado Explorer? Do I need a passport to enter my state? Not yet. I'm not gonna get into that, but kind of feels like they might be required in the future. Are you sure it's Hobart? Because it's clearly got an A. By the way, Hobart is getting in on some of our more damaging winds here. Still want Go Tebow to be indoors and away from windows. It's still in Eakly. Buggy and buffering. Is that just on my stream? Keeps kicking all of you guys out. It keeps keep kicking you guys out of my stream. Is it doing that on anybody else's stream? All of YouTube all day? Your apps shut down completely? Huh. That's odd. Yeah, it seems like some people's is fine. And some people are getting kicked out of the stream. That's interesting. Yeah, it looks like YouTube is having a fit today. Because if it's some people are fine and others aren't, then that's an indication it's a YouTube thing, not a me thing, thankfully. Whew. Yeah, my when I was live earlier, it said my stream went down when it was still going. I freaked out for a little bit. It's like a streamer's worst nightmare when you lose connectivity midstream. Latest scan, by the way, on all these storms. Nothing really concerning me right now in terms of strong rotation, to be honest. Outflow boundary still well out ahead here in the southern mode. Going to keep those storms continuing to be at bay. Kind of see it trying to surge out in front of the storm near Hobart. So it's really just these guys left. Which unfortunately is still the Oklahoma City storm. But these ones further up to the north, you can kind of tell actually. That might be an outflow boundary. It might not be as clear on radar. Not quite sure. We'll give it a little bit longer. That becomes pretty pronounced. It's not a pronounced outflow boundary, so I'm unsure. That could just be like small storms entering into the front side of it. But yeah, watch out there in Hennessy. 70-mile-per-hour winds are about to push into your guys' area. Okay, it looks like Storm Runner Media might have a view of something. Yeah, there's something above them. Let's listen in. They're in the northern portion of this line. There are a lot of lightning.
Again, I haven't had the KO3s yet, but those are probably the next.
Let's see if they're still complaining. Storm chasers, they complain when there's no tornadoes. It's just kind of what they do.
It looks like we haven't fully punched into it yet, guys, actually. Maybe we have, I don't know. It looks like it's still in front of us. We're kind of in a little gap right now, that's why. Interesting, it's like past us almost.
Yeah, he's like threading the needle in between two storms, it seems. Folks are having connectivity issues. Yeah, apparently it's like widespread. Some people are having connectivity issues. I don't really know what's causing it, but it's something to do with YouTube, not me. Also, by the way, another thing that we should be talking about a little bit more, the southern portion of this line is super weak right now. They are trying to happen, though. That would be Abilene's and Wichita Falls threat. But as you can tell, all of these storms are firing behind this cold front. So those aren't going to really do much in terms of a tornado threat. Unless they can catch up to that, which usually they don't. When the cold front crashes that far out in front of a main line of storms, they usually don't catch up. Happening to you, you keep hitting the live, then it whirly gigs again. That's so weird. I'm sorry, guys. That's not on my end, apparently. Apparently, it's happening all over YouTube, so unfortunately, we are powerless, or I'm powerless at least to do anything about it. My internet is fine, but I can check it. Let me just double check. We'll check it on fast.com real quick. I have a feeling, yeah. Guys, we only have 1.7 gigabytes per second. I think we're all right. Not on my end. Checking on those power outages. We should be seeing some. Yeah, we have 1,000 people without power in Oklahoma. Most likely due to this line of storms. Yeah, over in Dewey County and Custer County are some of the most keeps without power. YouTube has a cold. It could be. Could be. I don't know. Lowering on Reed's channel. Yeah, you know, we're going to see a lot of things that look like lowerings. As definitely expected as you have a shelf cloud move through the area. We don't really have any areas of intense rotation. So the thing, keep in mind, all right, with these kind of lines of storms, when the rotation is back in here, that is shrouded in rain, right? So the thing that you're going to see on like Storm Chaser feed is going to be the shelf cloud 10 times out of 10. The tornado will go near them as soon as the rain picks up, but you won't be able to see that. It'll be back shrouded behind the rain. That's kind of how these tornadoes will happen today. You're not going to see one. You're not going to see that classic Oklahoma noodle tornado from a Storm Chaser's feed. This is a squall line, and the tornadoes are usually embedded behind rain. Every now and then, though, you can get kind of a, when you get that cold pool surge, which will happen on the southern side of a mesocyclone, sometimes you can see those. But when it's just a brief spin up within the line, you're just not going to see it. So the lowering that you see is most likely scud along the leading edge of that cold front. Good night, War Eagle. Hopefully, you don't get anything too crazy tomorrow. I think we'll make it out okay, guys. I don't know. We're already seeing Cape and instability problems with the storm already. I mean, we already are going to have Cape and instability problems as we get our southern mode try to fire off tomorrow. So we'll see. We could break the record on lowest pressure recorded in our area during March, 977 millibars, which was equivalent to a Category 1 or 2 hurricane. Sent the graphic to the group. Okay, I'll check that out. I can't show it. Yeah, near Quincy. Lowest ever near Quincy. I wonder how people find out these statistics. Yeah, this low pressure system could break records, apparently. 977 is pretty intense. That is for sure, especially for March. I do want to check out this storm on the satellite real quick, if you guys don't mind. I want to see what our storm is looking like. Oh man, look at that thing. Such an interesting looking storm. There's your storms firing along our line. You can see that line really, that boundary really extends almost all the way down to here. And these are the winds that are coming down into New Mexico and eventually into Texas later. That wraps around on the backside, increasing that fire risk. And then up here, we're going to be seeing those blizzard conditions. It's already quite the large storm, although the area with actual precipitation is, any precipitation is really only in this area. So it's a little bit misleading. That is, it looks like quite the storm. Thankfully, though, what it's actually doing is nothing that crazy. Yet. We'll see. Reloaded. Hopefully they will fix this stupid issue. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of sucks. It's like the second worst thing that can happen to a streamer is that YouTube makes the viewing experience worse. Yeah, as of right now, our low pressure system is progged at 988 millibars already. Up there on the Colorado and Kansas border. So it is deepening. Certainly is deepening. You'll stick with me. I appreciate that, Lauren. Gonna get back to work. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in. Yeah, storm near Hennessy still warned for 70-mile-per-hour winds. And that storm is really kind of falling apart, though. I'd be surprised if it's still at 70-mile-per-hour winds. Oh my gosh. They just canceled that severe thunderstorm warning. We have one severe thunderstorm warning left. Bridgeport? Let me check it out. Bridge. Or I think I saw the thing you're talking about, but oh no, I didn't. All right. Yeah, I mean we have some kinks in a little area of circulation. It's still a little bit on the weak side of things. South of Greenfield, but yeah, there actually is a little bit of rotation there. It's not very strong yet, but it's worth monitoring, that's for sure. That's kind of in the area where we don't have that boundary really surging out just yet. They brought this severe thunderstorm warning back. Okay. They just reissued a new severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour winds. Not really too big of a hail threat. That's going to be moving towards Carnegie, Binger, Gracemont, Eakley, Hinton, El Reno, Calumet, and Kingfisher. Guys need to be going indoors and away from windows. It was a brief couplet. Let me go back in another scan. I mean, the couplet's still technically there. Yeah. Was there any there was no debris ball with it. Yeah, it was really brief. Might have to keep our eye on this area here. Again, it's still not over. I still want to wait a little bit longer here before we, write the gravestone for this storm. Because we don't have that cold front crashing out in front of this area just yet. And according to our latest models, we should start to see that capping inversion eventually break. But one of the things that's kind of got me scratching my head, though, is the instability. We still have 1,000 joules per kilogram pretty much right over this portion of the line in our mixed layer. These fall apart. Does that mean Ohio will see even less severe storms? You guys already have a low chance for severe weather, but I think that will still exist. The cold core portions of this storm has kind of already surprised us today, as you guys can see up there in Nebraska. We actually had a severe thunderstorm warning earlier, and that's with the cold core. That was going to kind of be the same thing that's going to threaten Omaha and kind of near Kansas City tomorrow. But if this kind of boundary kind of surges out in front of that area, we'll take a little bit for the atmosphere to recharge, but it's supposed to, according to our latest models. Tennessee still expecting mainly a damaging wind threat. I'd be surprised if we got any tornado warnings in Tennessee. Wichita just had a special weather statement go by, but you guys are in the clear now. But your winds are going to be pretty decently strong going into tomorrow. And they're probably already pretty strong up there right now. But they should get even worse. Yeah, south of Wichita, we had a... what kind of report is that? I don't know. Oh, it's a none report. Never mind. We had someone report nothing south of Wichita as well. But we've had some, the biggest reports that we've been seeing is just some small tree limbs down, or like trash cans blown over. And we potentially, I keep seeing these pretty large hail reports. We got a 4-inch hail report north and east of Canton Lake. Not sure how legitimate that is. I don't think that's legit. Some of our hail reports are a little wonky. Are the power outages looking? Let me check. Well, the power outages are actually going down in Oklahoma. 886 people without power. Colorado's in first place, unfortunately, for them. Texas it appears to be in second place with 5,000 people without power. And anyone can submit. Okay, thank you. at every couple of seconds. Yeah, I don't that unfortunately is not from my end, Christopher. It's from YouTube. Not something that I can fix. All right, let's go check out our storm chasers. I mean, we really don't have much to talk about. We'll give an update on that severe weather line in a little bit.
So, feels weird thinking that it's...
Well, like, I don't know, I mean, even getting to Mississippi is like one big storm compared to multiple, so I don't know, I still kind of feel like there's going to be not an outbreak, but a big one.
Oh yeah, definitely could be. I just feel kind of bad and aggravated. I don't really think I'm going to go because I don't know. I'm not feeling it. I don't think I have it in me. You know, I'm already sleepy.
We're talking about tomorrow.
Bed, like now, and just wake up
dang.
early and see if I want to do the cold core, and if not, then just start getting good warehouses. I don't know.
I don't know who's talking, but he's almost given up altogether on the storm. Or tomorrow as well. Jeffrey, Wichita's gonna have to worry about the line of storms and some wind. Wichita Falls. It's gonna be a really weak storm that comes through Wichita, though. I kind of think I'm noticing a little bit of a surge here. Let me check this out really quick. Is that surging? Nah, not really. Yeah, outflow boundary is like, these storms are like right on the edge of that boundary. What we're watching for are things like this, for it to surge out in front, but given the way that these storms are acting, I want to say Oklahoma City will be okay, but I still technically want to wait a little bit. Because I do agree with the storm chasers. The environment's not looking spicy. It's looking like the opposite of spicy. Our instability is a little bit on the low side. Our mixed layer is still there, but we're still completely capped out. Kind of, ooh. One thing I didn't notice, so our forecast has changed. Looks like that cap is going to break in 4 hours. That would be past Oklahoma City. There's a, it looks like the cap might hang around a little bit longer than we expected, which would greatly lower the tornado chance. Especially if that instability can't build back in. I mean, it's still technically going to hang around, but very interesting. Well, decent shear environment, but storms really aren't nosing into it. It seems like the ones that are in the shear environment get sheared apart. Outflow boundary to the south. It's really not the best environment for tornadoes, which is good news. Still a little bit hesitant, but I mean, if we can make it past Oklahoma City and nothing happens, I might end the stream. And just wait. If we're just talking about severe storms with 60-mile-per-hour winds, this is storms that you guys are used to. You guys sleep through these storms. 10 miles west of OKC, FEMA just sent a severe thunderstorm warning out for, yeah, so that is the NWS that does that. But yeah, I mean, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning for Carnegie, Bracemont, Binger, Eakley, El Reno, Calumet, and Kingfisher. What does that mean for you, Hannah? I think a lot lower of a chance for tornadoes. The southern portion of this line is super lackluster. If we look at our last HRRR run here, you can see that we were supposed to have storms like all the way down near Abilene by now. At least something trying to fire down there. And a stronger line of storms there near Altus and Vernon, which is just not the case. You know, does it reorganize as it moves close to Dallas? Given the fact that, you know, the storms already look kind of weak already. And they really don't look particularly strong moving through the Dallas. I think the tornado threat on the southern mode is going to struggle. But I still wouldn't let your guard down. You know, if you're up and around that time, I would certainly still be weather aware. But I mean, this line is looking anemic, which makes me happy. We don't like strong looking lines. We don't like well-fed storms. Taking trazodone and going into a comatose for a solid 8. All right. Thanks for letting us know. And you can tell that that outflow boundary now extends just to the south and east of New Cordell. So it's really only this storm. And it's not really showing any signs of rotation. We'll hang in there till Oklahoma City. But if nothing happens, like in terms of stronger winds or any more like rotations that even look half dangerous, we'll probably hang up the towel for the night, actually get some good sleep for tomorrow morning. Camera's not moving. No, this one's not frozen. This one down here, it's in Lawton. You can see that there's some stuff flying around. Some bugs, I would assume. Storm Runner Media is out in front of the line. They're traveling towards El Reno. Pagey Tornado is south of Storm Runner Media. They are traveling towards just north of Lawton. Will probably end up going pretty close to Oklahoma City. I'm sure they're thinking the exact same things we are. Just not quite sure. We'll still be here hitting your area around 4 to 5 a.m. Yeah, I mean, well, you know, if we don't see an improvement of this line here shortly, we're definitely not going to be covering that. Well, we'll see. Because again, this is supposed to be the peak of the tornado threat right now. So that lower instability is definitely doing these storms in. Will it continue to be like that? We don't know. That's why I'm still sticking around. I'm not completely ready to throw in the towel on these storms just yet. I still believe that there could be some improvement. Sometimes these storms can be a little bit misleading, and I don't want to give you guys the wrong impression if I still see a potential environment out there, and I still kind of am with these storms. And so is the NWS. That's why they have a severe thunderstorm warning on these storms. It's kind of the most intense portion of the line of storms right now. But in terms of rotation, nothing really sticking out. There is a little bit of something here near Hinton on our latest scan. Let me double check that. Yeah, it doesn't show up from the Oklahoma City radar, though. Check this higher definition radar. Maybe something over there east of Greenfield. Let me see if that checks out on our other radar. I mean, we are starting to see some kinks here, but like over here south and east of Greenfield, a couple little areas of rotation there. It's a little bit of a change, but it's not really that strong of rotation yet. What's the peak for the next 2 days? It's supposed to be tomorrow. Oops. I'm in the wrong scene. Sorry about that. It's supposed to be tomorrow, but I have serious doubts on tomorrow. But we'll see. I honestly, I've looked at it 1,000 times. There is potential there. But I would say it's more conditional than tonight. Yeah, there's 0 tornado warnings right now. Just 1 severe thunderstorm warning. We got a special weather statement further up to the north for areas like Ponca City and Perry. That's going to be for 50 to 55 mile per hour winds and penny-sized hail. So it's definitely a weaker storm up there, one that can be easily survived indoors and away from windows. We also have some gustier winds up here as well near Manhattan, also near Council Grove here in Kansas that will eventually make its way into Topeka. These are warned for 50 to 55 mile per hour winds, which can knock down small tree limbs. Power should stay on, though. A little bit of lightning happening here on Storm Runner Media's feed. Something to look at. You run a search and rescue team and trust your insights and start to deploy your team in the right areas. Awesome. Glad I can help you with that. Reno's been through enough. Hopefully they aren't hit hard this year, but we just don't know. Exactly. Well, at least you know that, right? A lot of people will get goaded into those tornado season forecasts like they're 100% facts. But the best way to go throughout severe weather season, and even with forecasts, I say this a billion times, but it seems like people just don't get it. So I keep saying it, you just don't ever really know for sure. You can get some hints of what's possible, but that's about it with the models. Fortunately, weather is just complicated. Is the line stalling? It kind of seems like it, doesn't it? And it's a good observation. Let me see what our eastern movement is. It still says moving east at 45 miles per hour, so that would still technically be the same speed as earlier. Day 1 outlook just came out. All right, we got a new outlook to look at. Hasn't come up on my end. We'll look on it in a little bit. Really? Where does it say that? Oh my gosh, look at this. Wow. Yeah, these storms in Kansas, thanks for pointing that out, Help, are moving northeast at 80 miles per hour. Oh my God. These storms are breaking the speed limit. My goodness. Oh, yeah. Yeah, those are trucking pretty fast. They'll be in Topeka and Osage City in no time. Thankfully, the winds aren't that strong. They're just moving that fast. All right. We have our new convective outlook for tomorrow. Not noticing too much change. Maybe a little bit further south there on our strong tornado risk. Still generally in the same areas: Jackson, Shreveport, Alexandria, New Orleans. Still kind of the same areas and still the same thought process. We're either going to have a tornado outbreak or just absolutely nothing. They're really, I mean, and honestly, we're leaning towards the latter. But the environment is there if we can get mature cells. So I would be prepared. That's pretty much all I'll say. I'll be prepared, and whatever happens, happens. Yeah, no major changes. A little bit further to the south and east, but it's generally the same. If you're in the green, you should be good. Yeah, if you're in the green, you'll be all right. Is Sachet, Texas? That's how you say it? Sachet, Texas. Yeah, I mean, if the southern portion of the line does not intensify at all, which it looks like it has, we're not seeing any evidence that it wants to yet. Yeah, you guys should be fine, but I would still be weather aware. You guys are technically still in a slight risk over there, so I'd be weather aware. I mean, it's gonna be early morning, like 6, 7 a.m. But the southern portion of this line is underperforming quite a bit. I mean, this whole line is underperforming right now. Tyler, Texas. Where's Tyler? Yeah. So you're in that area where you might be in the region where we might see a little bit more of like that second portion of our re-intensification. Most models are pointing that it's going to happen after Tyler, but I would still be weather aware. You know, the storm is underperforming now. That might not be the case tomorrow. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see how it progresses in the future. Springfield, Missouri, mainly worried about some snow. We have a small chance for severe weather as this line comes through, but the northern portion of this line has been relatively weak. But on the backside of the storm, you guys could definitely get, you know, maybe even 1 to 2 inches of snow out of it with some pretty strong winds. Yeah, that's actually the cold front. You can see it pretty clearly here on radar. But yeah, there is a big old outflow boundary surging, and any storm behind that is not going to go tornadic. So it's mainly the only corridor where I'm kind of focused on is this right here. Unfortunately, listen, I tell you guys in Oklahoma City, I don't want you guys thinking that I'm stringing you along here. But it just happens the only area that I'm still a little bit concerned about is the one going into Oklahoma City. There's no definite outflow boundary that I can tell here on radar out front of that area. We still have a little bit of instability in the mixed layer heading towards Oklahoma City. So, you know, we'll see. But it does seem like our latest models are saying that the latest, that the capping inversion will not break until after Oklahoma City. So kind of what we're doing right now is just monitoring the severe weather till Oklahoma City. And then if nothing happens, I'm going to get me some sleep. But I don't think we're dealing with the 10% tornado risk anymore. I think tornadoes are still technically possible, but I don't think it's going to get that high. Abilene, there was a chance for some thunderstorms. You guys are actually in a tornado watch, but your storms really weak. There might be something happening nearby you that we just can't see on radar too well. Can't really tell. Maybe the beginning of some storms there. All right, Torcon, thank you for tuning in. Norman, yeah, Norman's risk is lower too. Like anybody in this area, like like out in front of this line. It's a lower tornado risk. There's still a risk though, so that's why we're staying on. I want to monitor the environment until Oklahoma City, and we don't get any improvements. Yeah, we just got our latest SPC meso analysis. Really, really skinny area of instability. Looks like it might surge out in front of that instability before it makes it to Oklahoma City. A lot of mistimed things. Our greatest shear is up here, but we're capped out with lower instability. It's our divergence. Yeah, our forcing is a little weaker, for sure. Storm's acting like we thought it would, though. It's deepening, but thermodynamics are just they're going to be the problem the entire way with this storm. They're going to be the biggest question the entire time, and we've kind of known that from the get-go, but especially tomorrow. But yeah, very skinny 1,000 joules per kilogram. There we're running out of real estate quick. It is cool living in Norman, man. I've been to Oklahoma City. I think it's a nice city. I can't imagine living there though. Like, I like severe weather. Don't get me wrong, but you guys get like that crazy stuff. Like that gotta pull out a claim of insurance on your car once a year type severe weather for like 2-inch to 3-inch sized hail. That's just too much. Newton, Texas. Let me see. Where is Newton? Where's Big Newton, Texas? Your guys' risk is going to be around like 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. sometime in that time frame, and it's really iffy. That you're in one of those areas that I've been talking about for tomorrow, where the instability just doesn't quite line up with the storms too well, and the forcing is just a little bit too far up to the north, but we still have a strong tornado threat just in case, we get some favorable storm interactions. And if we see a mature storm tomorrow in that southern mode, we're going to get a strong tornado. There's pretty much no doubt about that. But the huge question that has been kind of hanging and overshadowing tomorrow's threat there near Louisiana and Newton, Texas, is the storms just don't mature on the models. So will the models be right? And we really don't have too much of an elevated tornado threat. We'll have to just wait and see. So I would be prepared. But don't be surprised if you see just some rain and maybe a couple rumbles of thunder. That is just as likely as a strong tornado. Isn't Bartlesville near Tulsa? Somewhere over here? I thought it was. Yeah. Honestly, a weak portion of the storm. It's pretty outflow dominated. Still a small chance though for some severe weather. I think your tornado threat is struggling right now, thankfully. Still not an absolute zero chance. So, there's still a small chance for a brief spin up. But the northern part of this line has been struggling, and I really don't see it getting much better. This is moving into pretty much zero instability, and in this environment, it's just not going to be enough to sustain tornadoes this far north. Wichita Falls, Texas. Looks like some light rain. And I don't see that changing. I don't see any surprises coming out of that storm. Thank you, Michael, for being a member for 13 months. Thank you so much. A long time. That's over a year. So I really do appreciate that, Michael. And thank you for gifting a membership, too. Thank you. Get a membership from Michael. Make sure you give him a huge thank you. The line is approaching Oklahoma City. It's getting there. About to go through Binger, Gracemont, and El Reno, Calumet here with some 60-mile-per-hour winds. And eventually that'll go into Oklahoma. It'll be interesting to see if they keep that severe thunderstorm warning all the way into there. Hey, thank you, Mark, for gifting a membership. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. San Angelo, watch out for a fire risk. Unfortunately, your radar's down, though. The good news is that the storms are pretty much non-existent down here. You might get some light showers, but that's pretty much it. You're in a tornado watch, but the southern portion of this storm is vastly underperforming right now. Day 2 upgraded to enhanced risk. Do we got anybody on the East Coast in chat? I doubt it. It's pretty late over there, and I doubt anybody in the East Coast is staying up to watch Oklahoma's tornado threat. But maybe there is. Does Vermont count? Not really. You are in the East, but you're not the coast. And you're a little bit north of the tornado threat. You're in Virginia. Okay, we got some peeps here from Pennsylvania and Virginia. Okay, we got a new Outlook update. It's going to load in eventually, and once it does, we'll go over it real quick. We got apparently a new enhanced risk. Let me see if I can bring it up. I mean, it's really not going to be too helpful. Just as a graphic. So I'm going to wait for it to load on the SPC website. Enhanced on the East Coast, apparently. Laying in bed in North Carolina. I'm not going to read the rest of that message, but thank you. From Kentucky. All right. Yeah, we'll give you guys an update on that as soon as it comes in, I promise. Hasn't loaded in yet. Should in the next couple of minutes. Yeah, man, I mean, this is a good look on the storm. If you don't like tornadoes. It's falling apart. Still definitely some potential here for some damaging winds, but maybe is that something there? Maybe. Oh, let me check from this radar. No, that's just a little storm going out in front of it, kind of merging with the line. Marlow, Oklahoma. Let me see where that is. Marlow, Oklahoma. Yeah, I mean, you're going to potentially get the southern portion of this line, but it seems like you're kind of in that area where the line is falling apart. I think the severe weather should go to your north. Definitely a line of wind and rain coming. Like how I explain things? Thanks. I try my hardest. So you guys got lucky with me. I used to be a rapper. Like a very poetic rapper. And so I'm really good at metaphors. Well, I stopped rapping like half a decade ago. It was like something, or like a decade ago. Something I did when I was younger. I liked it. It was fun to rhyme, make beats and stuff. I still make like lo-fi music every now and then. But I definitely do not rap anymore. What's going to happen over South Carolina, Myrtle Beach? I don't know. Did they ever? Oh. All right. So we just got our newest risk in. Check this out. An enhanced risk over here near Charleston, Wilmington, Raleigh, and Virginia Beach. And it's going to be for wind. Wow. Yeah. Significant winds possible there as that moves to the east. 5% tornado threat there in the enhanced risk. Hail risk as far north as parts of Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Roanoke. Yeah, that slight risk goes all the way to Lake Erie now because of that hail threat and the wind threat. Very interesting. We shall see. We shall see. There you go. There's your latest update. Straight from the Evans mouth. What about Greenwood? If you're closer to the eastern portion of, I don't know where Greenwood is, but if you're like in this area, then you're in the enhanced risk. If you're outside, if you're like outside, yeah, Greenwood's over here. Yeah, you're in the marginal risk. There. Looks like you're on the edge of the hail threat. Yeah. You know, honestly, that's surprising that wind and hail is possible up there. It's pretty far north for March. Typically, we don't see severe weather in the kind of Pennsylvania, West Virginia area until we get into the summer months. That's kind of a little bit of a rare occasion. Missouri, the most thing I'm worried about for Missouri is snow, potentially blizzard conditions further in the north. Some pretty gusty winds could make it through most of Missouri, but severe weather threat should stay to the south. Babyhead, Texas. I forget where Babyhead is. I think it's somewhere down in here, isn't it? I always have to search it. I think Babyhead, Texas will be okay, though. Like a big storm to bring us together. Yeah, I guess in a way, there's some positives to storms, but honestly, I think that's a negative. If you really think about it, we're all together, pooping our pants together, I guess. That's a place in Texas? Yeah, it is. There was, I forget if it was a tornado warning or a severe thunderstorm warning, but that's how we found it. There it is. Babyhead, Texas. It's a real place. And the history behind it is disturbing. Your first guess is probably right. You think it was a tornado warning? Yeah, it could have been. You're forever damaged from the knowledge of Babyhead? Yeah, I wouldn't suggest looking it up unless you want to have nightmares tonight. It's like Storm Hunter Media is going to let the line go over him, maybe. Let's kind of tune in here, because we really don't got too much to do. Listen in as the line overtakes him. So this is the portion of the line that's going to be making it into Oklahoma City eventually. So this will be helpful.
Would be to get down to towards Anadarko and try to blast west at it, but just have to see.
So that's a good thing.
Look at chat here and see.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, if this would have ended up coming the way it was looking, this would have been a very...
Thank you, Matt, for subscribing. Thank you.
Later morning across Louisiana.
Yeah, I mean,
don't look it up, Marianne. Don't do it.
How's it going to be for Southside OKC by I-240? Definitely could have some strong, severe thunderstorms moving through. I personally don't think the tornado threat's going to be that high for them, even though they did have a 10% tornado there at one point. Or technically, they still do, I believe, through 12Z, which would be 6 a.m.
Northwest of Apache now.
Will this line ever get to OKC? I guess. It's the severe thunderstorm warning says it's moving at 45 miles an hour
Sitting northeast of it. I'm trying
to the east. Oh wait, now it's moving at 35 miles per hour, so it is slowing down a little bit. I mean, what we're about to see on Storm Hunter Media is
severe level winds.
So here we are. Here comes the wind.
Lightning.
This is what's coming to OKC.
But it's good to,
we'll see what's all about.
I'm sitting just west of OKC right now, but this is why I'm chilling here, because I know...
We tried to tell you, Musical Hearts. We tried to tell you. You just had to look it up.
So, it's kind of funny as it's getting closer, it's starting to look a little better.
We warned you. Well, I guess he's not letting the line.
Now the line's starting to get these little kinks in it.
Kinky lines are not good. By the way. But they don't mean anything unless they have rotation in them. And let me check the radar. Yeah, I'm not really seeing any dangerous rotation within the line right now. So, they might have kinks, but that doesn't mean much.
And it kind of faded out. Man.
Oh, you looked it up too, Kenzie? I warned you guys. You know what? I don't feel bad for you. I told you not to look it up. Now you guys have experienced what I guess everybody went through when we first searched Babyhead, Texas. We were really interested when we first found out about it. It's like, I was like, that is like why do you have a town name named Babyhead, Texas? So everybody at that moment instantly went to Google, and the entire chat was just crazy. And that's why it's forever immortalized in the chat, because we all kind of found it out at the same time. And we were all very disturbed. It was, yeah. It's a really weird place, that's all I'll say. Oh, I'm not going to say it. The only thing I'll tell you is don't look it up. I warned you guys. What's the light blue turquoise on radar? That's just like some lower level moisture being picked up on it. You can see it moving. Sometimes you can see little ripples in there. Those are like gravity waves or outflow boundaries. It's got an extension of the severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour winds. That's going to be for Anadarko, Minco, and Yukon. Not quite in the Oklahoma City. I guess if you consider Yukon Oklahoma City, that's in Oklahoma City. Are you safe to go to sleep in Oklahoma City area around 23rd Street? I would wait just a tad bit longer, but I want to say yes. My intuition is saying yes. Uh-oh. We lost Paigey Tornado. She has officially given up. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . I'll replace Paigey with an Oklahoma City camera. Let me get that set up here. She's had enough. I'm wondering how long Storm Runner Media will be up. I want to get like a nice, well-lit camera. Yeah, something like this would be nice. That's perfect. We're going to be live tomorrow? Yeah. Absolutely. We will be live at some point. Even if there's no tornado warnings, we'll be live. Just to look over the atmosphere, give our final verdict on what we think before the storm happens. Kind of like what we did with this one. I think DFW should be good to go to sleep. These storms are going to struggle like eternally here. That cold front has crashed way out ahead of this line. How did you look it up? My goodness. Y'all don't listen. Hey, thank you, Dottie, for subscribing. Welcome, welcome. Will sirens go off? Probably not, unless they issue a siren for severe thunderstorm warnings. Yeah, the bad part is that I drank a coffee before this stream. So if we do end after Oklahoma City, I'm gonna be a little wired. Probably not gonna get good sleep. The good news is I've been getting great sleep recently, so I really don't need good sleep tonight. I should be perfectly fine. Because you said not to? Jeez Louise. All right, well it's gonna be my next YouTube video title, I guess, since that works so well. Don't click this forecast video. That will work on like all of you, apparently. Thank you, Jay, for tuning in. I do appreciate that. Have a good night. You started to, but you decided on Kamomali tea? Southwest OKC? Yeah. Yeah. This part of the line is really struggling. That outflow boundary is, I mean, it's definitely going to be a little windy and a little thundery, but Lawton's going to be fine. Ardmore will most likely be fine. And this one will probably go outflow dominant eventually, but we're still monitoring it. It's not outflow dominant right now. So there's still a small chance for some spin ups, but man, I am seeing the exact opposite of rotation on this line right now. It is, it's pretty darn weak in terms of any rotation. Tornado threat, not clickbait. I feel like using not clickbait in a title is it's not well, it's technically not clickbait. I always struggle on what to say because like with most tornado threats, it's pretty uncertain. So I used to be a little bit more attentive to like my wording, to my titles. But I've since just been like, you know what? If you know me, you know me. You're gonna click on the video anyways. I'm not gonna like. I'm just working on building that kind of audience. I don't need to shout, and so I've changed my thumbnail style to only match the SPC outlooks. To highlight that things have changed and stuff, but I'm gonna like I think the days of using like I'll still call a storm powerful. Like this was a powerful storm, especially on the northern part of this. If we really do get those wind gusts, but it's really hard to say on any storm that something is definitely coming. You know, and I just don't want to lie to you guys. You know, I'm a kind of usually unless we just have all models agreeing and it's actually a dangerous tornado threat and it's like, you know, all the ingredients are definitely there, then, you know, I'm just going to kind of be uncertain in my titles most of the time. So The weather tonight is clickbaiting us. And that would have been the HRRR model. Small threat is still a threat. That is true. It is still technically a threat, even right now as we speak. Just a very small one. But yeah. This is why, and this is why, like, okay, so like sometimes I will admit, sometimes something shows up in the models 7 days in advance, and it happens pretty similarly. But more often than not, that doesn't happen, right? So if you see a video that's saying something is coming, and then you click on the video and it says, and the model's like 5 to 7 days out, and then they immediately start saying, like, we don't really have a whole lot of information on that. That means you got clickbaited, my friend. That means somebody lied so that they could make 0.001 cents from your view. The trick is to always click off immediately as soon as you find out so you don't give them ad revenue. Yeah, no, I think that's one of the big reasons why I am like I am. One of them is because I've actually been to ground zero, unlike some of these other folks. Like I've actually been there. I cleaned up after the Hackleburg tornado, or I think it was either the Hackleburg or the Phil Campbell tornado. I saw like what the worst of the worst could be. Cleaned up with the Gaylord tornado. I talked to many people that have been impacted by tornadoes, and it's just not something you should lie to somebody about, because those people that have seen tornadoes or been in a big tornado risk before, they're sensitive to that kind of stuff. And if you keep on saying every single thumbnail that every single storm is huge and massive, those people that have storm anxiety, you're literally sending them mentally insane. Constant panic attacks. And to do that and to cause that to somebody is effed up, in my opinion. Apparently, most people think it's fine, but I just don't. I feel like that's super messed up. I don't know how it is allowed to happen, but it is what it is. Freedom of speech, I guess. But that sucks for you guys, or at least the people with storm anxiety. Yeah, it is really hard. I mean, you go there, you hear the stories of the people. Like, when I helped in Gaylord, one of the people I talked to, she had to run. Like, she didn't so. Unfortunately, for the folks in Gaylord, they don't have tornado sirens. And I actually talked to the EMS in the area, and they say they don't have tornado sirens because they're afraid somebody's going to hack it. So anybody that didn't have their phone on or wasn't watching TV didn't even know the tornado was coming. And so it was a mom, I think she was about like in her 30s. She had 2 kids. And they didn't know the tornado was there until like the wind started going crazy outside their house. And she ran into the bathroom with her kids, or no, I think she first ran into the bedroom to pick up one of her kids. One of her kids almost got sucked out of the house, and she had to like grab onto the kid tight, and then she eventually brought him into the bathroom, where they hung out. And when you're there, I mean, you see it. It's very visceral. The house is destroyed. There's glass everywhere. You see the emotions on their face. I mean, that's just something you don't want to dredge up unless you have confidence. And to be doing that like 5 to 7 days out, in my opinion, it's just like one of the most crappy things a person can do. But that's why I'm so staunchly against it, and I speak out about it a lot, because it really is messed up when you really think about it. Like, to constantly call every storm like a huge or a massive storm, and then always like putting a red blob where the storm is even isn't at. That's screwed up, man. Like, you should be trying to make your graphics as accurate as possible so you're only reaching the people that need to see the information. I don't really care about clicks. I just want to, get the information out there. If you're in the risk and you want to learn about it, you can click on my video. And eventually we'll grow slower than everybody else because, you will get more clicks if you act like every storm is super dangerous. But the good news is if you do end up clicking on my videos or clicking on my live stream, I become a reliable source for you because we go live before the storm, we go over the environment, we break down models really in depthly. We don't just kind of brush over it and just say a blanket statement. We really try to get in the nitty gritty and understand the storm. And I really try my best to communicate all of the uncertainties and all the scenarios. Yeah, don't click on that video. If I ever saw that title, man, I'd probably post that on Twitter and say some choice words about it. Luckily, the tornado's not that bad. Yeah, luckily not. Yeah, search and rescue though, it's very emotionally intense. So, like, if you did have a big tornado come through your area, and you have medical experience, right? So you could kind of help out if you wanted to, and maybe volunteer, especially in the moment. But if you're a little bit emotionally fickle, you're kind of setting yourself up for like lifelong PTSD. They get mad at you because I expose them. Yeah. It's just because, that's their favorite streamer. So they, they look past the clickbait, but they don't really think about it all the way through on like what that's doing to the general public. Yeah, what I was trying to say with all of that is that the reason that I think another reason why I'm like that is because one of the people I grew up watching was Mr. Anti-Clickbait himself. James Spann was my favorite meteorologist, my inspiration growing up. And he always just told it how it was. I really like that. James Spann is the GOAT. He just tells you how it is, man. He doesn't sugarcoat it. He doesn't try to spin it. If people keep clicking on their streams, yeah. I do think that there's part of it where people do want fear. We were talking about it last stream. We talk about it almost every stream when there's nothing really going on. But it's good to kind of get under or educated on this stuff because this is kind of it's not just for weather. This happens all across YouTube and in news and all that kind of stuff. So it's good to kind of learn how this process of this goes. But essentially, they fearmonger, they clickbait, you click, they earn money. Right? They're literally earning money off of giving you panic attacks. Like that's like the most effed up thing you can do. I wish I could explain it in a better way, but I feel like you just can't say it anymore cut and dry. And then like how do they even still have trust with their audience? Like there's definitely some sort of psychological thing to learn here. Because I feel like you would lose trust. I don't know. Like you would feel like those would be the least popular of them all, not the most popular. Because you feel like they would lose trust of their audience eventually. Maybe it just takes longer than you think. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, James Spann is awesome. I'm glad he does YouTube. I love checking in on his little videos and live streams. He goes live every now and then on YouTube. Hey, thank you, Jackie, for the 10. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I can't ever watch him, though. That's the only bad thing about going live a lot. Like nationally, I can never watch him anymore. I would love to sit down and watch a James Spann stream all the way through during a severe weather outbreak in Alabama. He certainly has got a big talent for that kind of stuff. He is on the ball, man. His 2011 coverage was crazy good. It was so intense. At this point, yeah, you got to be careful. If you have high anxiety levels, I can only imagine probably surfing the web is it's probably mentally exhausting, because that is the new trend, is fear mongering, lying, over exaggeration. Like you'll see it like if you ever watch like a thumbnail expert break down a bad thumbnail, they'll like the things that they say is like, man, you should have over exaggerated here, should have made this pop more, that would really freak people out. You should have had a more surprised faced, a more angry faced. Over exaggeration is like the new trend. I think it's also because I'm just a little bit older. I just find that silly. I like I really appreciate straight to the point facts. I don't want to be misled. That really pisses me off when that happens, when somebody does that to me and I fall for it, and I never watch them again, or never click on any of their meet. I usually block them, to be honest. I don't like getting lied to. Putting your mind at ease. Yeah, no problem. No problem. I'm glad it wasn't that bad. There was a little inkling that something could have been wrong at the beginning. I mean, we did have some areas of rotation, but once that outflow boundary started surging, it definitely at least solidified the southern portion. I'm still watching this portion going into Oklahoma City, but there's just nothing going on. No rotation. I mean, it still got some pretty decent winds in it, 60-mile-per-hour winds, and we should get a view on one of our cameras here shortly. Let's go check in on our storm chaser. What's the old Storm Runner Media doing? He's still out and about. Wonder what his plans are. There's no areas of rotation anymore. Well, they just let the severe thunderstorm warning expire. We'll see if they issue a new one like they did last time. That's good, BBQ. You gotta be vigilant on that stuff. Like that shouldn't be the trend. Like it is concerning that that's the trend. Like the new meta. But it's just one of those things. It's the information gap. When you don't know a whole lot, right, about a particular subject, it's easier to get baited into that stuff, because you don't know if they're telling the truth or not. So you have to click to find out, because it's a difficult subject. That's where it happens. That's the main reason why it happens. Weather's very complicated, so that probably also plays a pretty big role. Are derechos easy to detect on radar? Yeah. Yeah, they look pretty wild on radar. Yeah, I love Storm Runner Media. They're really down to earth. Same with Tyler Kurtz, Pagey Tornado. Brett Adair is also a great storm chaser. He's local in Alabama. Kathy Southern. Did you change your name? I was about to say you got a new friend, Michael, but I think that's just you. Is that your new? Okay. Well, so we have two sassies in the chat. Yeah, okay, there you go. They officially took off the severe thunderstorm warning, and they replaced it with a special weather statement. We don't even have severe weather to talk about. Let's see what the statement is here. Wind gusts of up to 50 miles per hour. Oh, Pecos, Hank. Oh, I know. But there's a reason he doesn't go live. That's the thing. He's just so humble and so freaking cool. He doesn't have that yearning. Right? From a storm chaser perspective, like obviously you can be humble and stream. Don't get me wrong. But Pecos Hank is like the most genuine, humble person that I think you can have. He's like the gold standard for that. I love watching his videos, mainly just because he just seems like a real human being. Yeah, I mean, and that's what makes his videos so unique, is because he's just himself at all times. Oh yeah, he's also a pretty good music artist as well. I love Pecos. Kind of hard not to. Ooh, what's happening down here? Some storms are trying to fire on the southern portion of this line. Near Big Lake. That might make it into San Angelo. That is a random spot for storms to get going. I'm not going to lie. South of Odessa. Well, to be fair, we have 3,000 joules per kilogram down here. Forcing's going to be a little bit weak, so these storms will struggle a bit. There's a lot of Cape down there. Might get a severe thunderstorm warning out of these guys eventually. These are going to be the ones that might try to move in to Dallas maybe later. Maybe south of Dallas, to the east of Dallas. Yeah, these storms popped up really fast as well. But I mean, down here is completely uncapped environment, 3,000 joules per kilogram, almost 4,000. Oh no, that's 2,000. Sorry. Let me check the velocities on this. Yeah, not a whole lot of rotation. They are out in front of that cold front though. Watch out over there in San Angelo. It might get walloped a little bit by those. Derechos are crazy. Yeah, they are. We can agree on that. Derechos are like the really strong ones are pretty crazy. Going by your property 2 miles north. Ooh, yeah, that's lucky. And that happened to me last year. I had to go to my tornado shelter, and EF2 went just 2 miles to my north. Like pretty much the exact same scenario. That was definitely a little bit intense. How's Hackleburg, Alabama? Should be good. I mean, anything in like northern Alabama, I'm not convinced that we're going to really see much. But, you know, there is definitely a chance for some severe weather. as those winds make it down to the surface. So I'm mostly worried about damaging winds and potentially some power outages. But the main tornado threat will be further down to the south in this area. I'm trying to remember how I met Storm Runner Media. Don't really remember. Try to think. I might have just messaged them. And I'm going to think about that when I'm a little bit more awake. I have a little rotation southwest of Perry. Isn't that in Texas? No. I think there's a Perry, Oklahoma, right? Forget where it is. Let me check. Perry, Oklahoma. There it is. Up here? Probably not. Probably not going to happen. Yeah, that's not really. I mean, yeah, technically it's a little bit of rotation. It's very, very weak. Is Dallas good? We'll have to see what these little showers can do that are out in front of it. I would still be weather aware, especially, honestly, now that we're seeing these ones get a little, or try to intensify down here. It's possible these could make it pretty close to Dallas by morning. So I'd still be weather aware in Dallas, just in case. But our tornado threat has gone down quite significantly, pretty much all across the board on this one. That's going to be early morning. You don't need to be up right now. You could be getting some good sleep. Make sure you wake up by 6. Guys, I know I promised I would stay here until Oklahoma City, but I mean, we don't have any more severe thunderstorm warnings, and I don't think it's going to randomly get more dangerous. How many people do we have watching from Oklahoma City? Just curious. Oh, wait. Storm Hunter Media is letting the storm go over him. Let's check it out. Let's see what it's all about.
Trying to see if I see any TVSs or anything. Not seeing much. Sort of sporadic lightning and a little bit of hail mixed in there, here and there, but
apparently a little bit of hail is mixed in.
Feels very not severe at the moment.
I mean, he was pretty much in the leading edge of that line. As little popping noises as hail, I think. Oh, here comes a little bit of wind. Not that strong, though. Which is some good news.
Yeah, on the storm tracker too. Take care of them, brother. Found me another storm tracker out here, guys. That's always cool.
All right. Yeah, that's looking like quite the easily survivable storm there, folks. I'll be honest. Yeah, that outflow boundary looks like it surged all the way up here, now up to Anadarko. And actually, it might be right here. On the velocities, that looks like that cold front now is extending out in front of our northern storms. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it. Yeah, it's dying down. It's dying down. It's doing the complete opposite of what the model said. Started off strong and just kind of died off here as that outflow boundary starts to surge. So I think I'm gonna get some sleep. In Oklahoma City, there's still a little bit of a tornado threat, but I would be extremely surprised if you guys got a tornado warning tonight. Extremely surprised. We're mainly talking about a storm here with the potential for some 50-mile-per-hour winds. Further down to the south near Wichita Falls, not really expecting much. Just some thunder, some lightning, maybe some rain. Kind of our biggest surprise here is over here near Big Lake, but it looks like these storms are struggling to mature at the moment. Be interesting to see if that can mature into anything as that approaches San Angelo. But as soon as that outflow boundary catches up, these storms will struggle, kind of like the ones further up into the north. So it'll be interesting to see what happens for Dallas. But, we'd have to see some sort of change in our atmosphere, which I don't know how likely that is. So I would still be weather aware in Dallas, Waco, Killeen, McKinney as you go into tomorrow morning. Oklahoma City, your threat's going to be over here shortly. Eastern Oklahoma, a line of wind and rain is coming. I really don't see that changing much. Still a small tornado threat, though, so I would at least have a way to get alerts in Muskogee, Tulsa, and McAllister. But I think it's a pretty low chance that you guys get a tornado warning up there. Thanks for the great coverage. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Yeah, I'm going to get some sleep and recharge for tomorrow. We'll see what happens. We'll see if the forecast changes at all. I'm looking forward to trying to go live at least before the storms really get started down there and hopefully give you guys a little bit of a breakdown before things get started. And we'll know for sure when that mesoanalysis data comes in what's going to happen. It'll be pretty obvious. But yeah. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Huge shout out to the mods for sticking with us all the way into tonight. And yeah, see you guys later. Peace.